Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very, very special guest. I know this man for a very long time, and now we both happen to live on the West Coast, like a lot of the East Coast people. Mm-hmm. Please welcome to the podcast, Roy Mayorga. Roy. Sorry. I don't know why I said Roy.
Wow, right out the gate.
You know why, Roy? You know why? You know why?
Why?
I'm concentrating. Hang on a second.
Everyone's called me Ray for years.
No. I know.
And now you call me Ray, and you've known me for years.
Listen, people. The reason why, listen, I'm so focused on not fucking up your last name.
You fucked up my first name. I fucked
up your first name. His name's fucking Roy. Roy
Mayorga. Very easy.
And so listen,
that's how it's spelled. R-O-Y. How do you fuck up R-O-Y?
But listen, I know you my whole life.
I love the way this is starting out.
Me too. I know you for so long. But just now, I was saying before the podcast started, when you start interviewing your friends and start Googling them and seeing things, I'm like, fuck. I never even had to say this dude's last name the whole time I've known him, or just people with nicknames.
Or my first.
No, listen, Roy. Anyway, I love how this shit started. Okay, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
And it's Roy.
I know, Roy. I know.
I like to call him Maurice.
So
yeah, he likes to call me Maurice. Some people call me Maurice.
So you just turned 50, and I turned 50, 2 days apart. I realized that today too. Both born in 1970, both Aries.
Yep.
Was it weird having your birthday on lockdown?
Yeah, I mean, definitely weird. I mean, we had a little getaway planned, and that went south.
Yeah.
And lost a bit of money, but that's okay. Got some of it back.
Yeah.
Ended up having a impromptu Zoom meeting party instead,
Sick.
Which was pretty cool.
That's all the rage. That's what's happening now.
My wife organized it. I was like, oh, this is great. So I had a drink with, a bunch of friends and happy birthday. And that was it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you got gypped from it too. Everybody
I got gypped too. And my wife's like, we're just going to have crossroads in the front yard. And we're sitting in the front yard. And then all of a sudden she's like, go outside and look out the fence. And then my mom and my brothers and some friends, they came by in a parade of cars.
That's amazing.
With signs, and they had T-shirts of me for my 50th and beep the horns. It was awesome, man.
That's pretty cool.
But I was supposed to be in New York, had like a sold-out birthday show in New York for my 50th, and then that didn't happen. So
where was that supposed to be?
Shit, the name's like a French name. It's like a spot downtown. It has no barricade. It didn't have any punk shows before. It's in Greenwich Village. They call it. We used to call it Greenwich Village. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it's like the Lower East Side area, and it's a new La Fou. No, that's fucking in Montreal.
Yeah,
electric
fou electric. Yeah, fou electric. Yes. Yeah, electric fou.
So, welcome to the podcast. I'm stoked to have you here.
Yeah, me too.
Your fucking resume is insane. I mean, from Nausea to Soulfly, Shelter, Medication, Ministry, Sepultura for a tour, Stonesour, Hell Yaz, and then you did some scoring, and Bloom was one of your bands. And
yeah.
So let's take it back to, you were born in New York, correct?
I was born in New York.
Manhattan, Queens, or just
Queens?
What part of Queens? It's really important for the listeners.
Forest Hills, Queens.
Forest Hills.
Home of the Ramones.
Sick.
I lived there for the first 5 years of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got brothers and sisters?
I have one brother, older brother.
And how was that growing up? How were you in school? How was your house? Were you like a strict family or?
Loosely. It wasn't too strict. I mean, I had really cool parents. My mom was really supportive in what I was doing, and she actually noticed me being a drummer before I even knew I was a drummer. So she kind of pushed me in the right direction. Got me a little toy drum kit, and
were you banging on shit or something?
Oh yeah, always. Yeah. She noticed that straight away, like with the pots and pans and all that, and boxes, and she's like, okay, I got to get this kid a little tiny drum kit, like something, the drums were pretty expensive back then, so best thing she could do is get like a Mickey Mouse style drum kit from Toys R Us, and went to town on that. Yeah, that's about it. And just had my older brother like pointing me in the right direction with certain bands like Kiss and Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Rush. Those are the bands that I listened to growing up to learn from.
Yeah, how old were you then? Like, what age do you think?
I must have been like, I don't know, 6, 7. Yeah.
And then how was growing up, going to school in Queens? Like, were you a good student? Did you like school?
I actually didn't go to school in Queens because by the time I was 5 is when we moved out of there and we moved to Florida because my dad had a job.
Oh, wow, okay.
A job offer down there, so we lived there for a few years. And I went to school down there. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's a big change, drastic change probably.
Yeah. I lived in Hialeah, Florida. Pretty sketchy part of town.
So you went to How long did you live there for?
I lived there from 1975 till about 79ish,
Okay.
something like that. So I went to preschool, kindergarten, first, second. Yeah.
And then you went back to Queens?
No, when my parents got divorced, unfortunately, we wanted to move back to New York, back to Queens, but we just couldn't afford to go, live there and move all the way back there. So we went to Pennsylvania, where my mom's sister lived.
Okay.
And we moved to this place called Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, man.
Which is the Lehigh Valley. Everyone knows it as.
Know Allentown very well.
Yeah, I know you do. But yeah, I lived there up until I was about 17.
So you went to school there?
I did go to school
And
there.
how was that? Was it like culture shock going from Queens to Florida to Pennsylvania? Not culture shock, but
Well, I wasn't, coherent enough to even, realize that. The culture shock was definitely, I noticed it between Florida to Pennsylvania. Like that was a big culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to blend in with the kids and, just trying to figure myself out, and wasn't really too happy because of what was going on with my mom and my dad at the time. That's kind of
hit you hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it did hit me pretty hard. So I wasn't really that happy the first few years I was there.
Did you lash out because of that? Or you like,
I lashed
become a
out
wild kid?
I lashed out here and there, and then I found punk rock, and everything was fine. And
Saved your life.
And I found my people. It made life easier. Made life easy living in Allentown once I found my group. And found what I was into, and found other people that were shared the same ideas. So it made it a lot easier.
Yeah. So you got into punk more in Pennsylvania then?
Yeah.
That's where you kind of found it.
Yeah.
And not through your brother.
Well, actually through my brother.
Okay.
I remember him, bringing in, Ramones records, Pistols, Clash, The Ruts, Killing Joke, stuff like that. This is probably around 1980, 81. That was like that cross-fade year of the kind of music I was getting into. I was getting away from, the AC/DCs and Rush and Kiss and Black Sabbath, and I got more into that. That's because that's what my brother was listening to.
That's cool.
So naturally, I followed suit and got into that, and then found my own way with that.
Yeah, found your own. Like that's kind of my brothers got me into skateboarding and punk, and then I really dived into that, and then they kind of went off and did like my brother was into new wave. I really connected to it more than they connect. Even though they introduced it to me, I really like dived into it.
Right.
So then you're a punk rocker and you're in high school basically, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And so what was your goals in high school? Like what did you want to do when you get out?
I wanted to be doing what I'm doing now. Just be a touring musician, be in a band that's going to go on for a long time and make records and, have a career that way. It took a long time to get to that.
Yeah.
I quit school to go do this, basically.
Oh, you did?
To go on my first big road trip with my first band.
Which was?
Youthquake.
Youthquake.
Yeah.
And that was Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it was Pennsylvania.
What did you guys sound like?
Kind of like that fast melodic kind of hardcore, like 7 seconds ish. A lot of that. Yeah. Kind of a cross between that and maybe some of the DC kind of sound.
Great.
Because our singer was really into Rites of Spring and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So I was more into Discharge and Exploited, so you kind of put that together and you get Youthquake. You know what I mean?
Discharge and Rites of Spring. That's crazy.
Yeah. Our guitar player was really into some of the West Coast stuff like RKL and shit like that.
RKL.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Josh Brolin, the drummer from RKL.
Yeah. Keep Laughing was like the soundtrack of that band in 1985. Like I used to love that album. To me, it was like God.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you said 7 seconds. That's awesome. You're a big fan of them as well?
Yep. Seen them around that time. Walk together.
Yes.
That was great. I saw them in this place in Lehigh Valley called West Caddy Playground in Catasauqua.
Wow.
In Whitehall. That's where all the hardcore shows were happening. This band called Russian Meat Squats, Scott Andrews, the singer of that band, used to put on shows there.
Okay.
Everyone from DRI, COC, Circle Jerks, like that.
All come through there.
Yeah. I saw everyone that came through there.
And how far was that from Philly?
About hour and change.
Yeah, so you could play Philly and go there too.
Yeah.
That's like that.
I used to go to Philly shows too. I used to go to Trenton City Garden
City
shows.
Gardens was the best.
Yeah, I used to make little road trips doing that. I used to see shows at Revival.
Yeah, the Revival. Yeah,
Philly.
I've been there.
And I lived in Philly for a little while too, just before moving back to New York on my own, which we'll get to that.
Yeah. So you found punk rock and it kind of saved your life. You found this tribe and of people that you relate to, and
Yeah.
probably been through some of the same shit you've been through. I feel like that's the underlining theme of everybody that comes on the podcast, regardless if your music sounds different than mine or Derek's. We all come from this scene of these people that come from not the perfect households, but we all met each other in this scene, and we became part of this family that's kept us connected for 20, 30 years. You know, it's something super special, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So you quit school so when did you start playing drums though? Like what inspired that? Well, your mom said you're playing drums, you get an early drum kit. But you started playing seriously in high school?
I would say, playing drums was more of an instinctual thing. It wasn't something I was conscious of, like, okay, I want to start playing drums.
Yeah.
It was just something I kind of just instinctively gravitated to.
Yeah.
And then started learning what a drummer is after seeing it on TV, like seeing, Buddy Rich on the Johnny Carson show, or see like glimpses of like any band playing, Kiss, seeing Kiss on TV for the first time, seeing, Zeppelin on TV, and just like, holy shit, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. I heard Kiss Alive, hearing that. I'm like, yeah, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be that.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I want to do in my life.
And so your parents were totally supportive of that?
Yes.
Even when you quit school?
My dad, not so much. He was really academic. My dad was like, he was really he was a civil engineer. He did a lot of electronic, did electronic work, like had a quality control for some, electronics, company.
Nice.
My mom, just a mom,
Yeah.
And she other than being just a mom, she was an artist. She liked to do illustrations and stuff like that. She used to do that. So
that's awesome.
I get that more from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was super supportive. Your dad was like, oh, you could be doing this or better than that.
But my mom was like, no, he's going to do this. Yeah.
So even when you quit school, they were like, we get it.
Well, my mom was like, okay, I'll let you do this, but once you do this, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
You better, I'll support you on this, but you better move forward with this.
100%.
And don't fuck around.
So how did it go that first tour with your band?
Well, it wasn't really like a long tour.
Yeah,
it was like a little
tri-state.
Tri-state, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a few days, like weekend here, a weekend there. I loved it. I'm like, this is great. I mean, traveling in the beginning wasn't so great. We weren't in a van. I mean, I remember being in our guitar player's baby blue Pinto.
Wow.
So we just threw all our shit in the hatchback. I wore some of my drums on my lap, and I remember the guitar player. Excuse me, everyone. Wearing had his guitar amp in his lap, and everyone had their stuff in their lap. And I remember our singer drove.
Okay.
He had his microphone in between his legs.
Yeah.
Okay. Singers.
Easy. We have the easy one. Yeah. That's all we need.
But I was always in the fear of oh man, I hope we don't get rear-ended and this thing will die immediately.
Yeah.
Because Pintos were known for blowing up if you just even tap them on the back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the gas tank was there. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. I always go it'd be great to get in a van one of these days, and we did. It was awesome.
So how long did that band last?
About 2 years.
Okay.
I started with them when I was 15. I was in 9th grade.
Wow.
And it was with 3 other kids from another school from the next county, from Catasauqua. They went to Caddy High.
Okay.
I went to Whitehall High School. They went to Catasauqua High School. But we all met each other in the scene.
Yeah.
And then we got together and practiced at one of our friends' basement.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you guys still have a following too? Start having a good following?
Pretty decent following, yeah. Yeah, we used to play once a month, every 2 months, Were
you working then too besides that?
What's that?
Were you working a job too as well during that time?
I started working. Yeah, I was a shoe dyer. I was dyeing satin shoes.
Wow, I never even heard of that shit. I mean, I know what happens, but know somebody did that
at Baker's Shoes in Lehigh Valley Mall for God knows for how much an hour, maybe 3 something an hour.
Holy shit!
Basically, they're satin shoes. They're blank, and you have this alcohol liquid dye, and you have to dye shoes for proms or weddings. And
yeah,
that was the job. That's what I did. I had to match, wedding dresses or whatever, and just match the color, and that's what I did.
That's crazy.
That was my first job.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a job for everybody, and there's always something you can do. It's crazy. I never heard somebody that's a job. That's fucking.
Well, I got the job.
I don't think about things like that.
I got the job because my friend was working there, and he ended up getting a job at I think the the amusement park that was there in Allentown called Dorney Park. He's like, hey, I'm leaving my job, and I got a job at Dorney Park. You want this job? They're looking for someone. I'm like, fuck yeah, I can use some money, buy some more records. I don't know.
That's so. How long did you work there for?
Probably a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then music was super more important, obviously.
Yeah.
And then when did you end up going to New York? Like, how soon after that band did you leave?
Well, after that band, I think our bass player in that band quit, and then we just stopped for a while, and then we got back together, and it was just a different band. We ended up turning into this band called Word Made Flesh, and my brother ended up joining this band as second guitar player.
Oh, shit.
And what inspired that is we were doing just covers, and our guitar player from Youthquake suggested we do a Ruts cover.
Okay.
The song called You're Justa.
Okay.
And we were really into this band. Like, I pretty much all Catasagua was really into old, later 70s punk. So we kind of had that kind of edge, like, you know, like Buzzcocks, Ruts, you know, more melodic.
It's awesome.
And once that started going, we got my brother in, and we started writing all these songs, and it was more like that.
Okay.
And it had more of the DC-ish kind of Rites of Spring vibe, Husker Du. Like, that's more what the band sounded like.
It's cool.
And that lasted for about a year or two. And then I wanted to leave. I just wanted to go somewhere else and, you know, explore. And I had a chance to move to Philly when this other band was looking for a drummer. So I moved there. This band called Death Trip.
Okay.
Death Trip was fronted by a really known, popular person in Philly who's no longer with us anymore. His name is John Brubaker.
Okay.
He used to be in a band called Circle of Shit.
Okay.
Philly punk band. He owned a record store called Chaos Records off of South Street on 4th Street. So I got word that they needed a drummer, and they called me, and I went down, and I ended up playing with them for a while.
So you moved there.
I moved there, and then I lived there for about less than a year. And then a really good friend of mine, Sean Roberts, who you might know. Do you know Sean Roberts?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was pretty tight with a lot of people up in New York in the punk scene there, and Nausea was looking for a drummer.
Were you a fan of them?
Oh, big fan of them.
Okay.
Absolutely. So he gave me John's number, and we made the phone call, and I borrowed $20 from my friend, and I took a train up there, spent 2 days, and with just $20, and came back, and I got the gig.
So had you been in New York a bunch of times before?
Oh yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
Way tons of times.
You would go to shows up there and stuff?
Always, yeah.
Okay.
I used to go to shows there a lot in between the years of, you know, when I was living in Allentown.
Yeah.
Before moving there, I used to go to shows there all the time.
So you're fans of the scene up there, of course, the bands and everything. Yeah.
I used to go to CB's. I used to go to the Ritz on 11th Street to see shows. You know, all that shit. So then, the rest is history.
So how old were you then when you moved there then? Would that be 18, 19?
I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved to New York City proper when I was 19.
And you're in Nausea.
I was in Nausea.
And so Nausea was, how long they had been around before that?
Since 1985.
Oh, shit, okay. For a while.
Yeah.
And so were you making albums with them? Were they, when you moved up there, had they made a couple albums already?
No, they had one. They did a bunch of recordings actually with Jimmy Williams.
Oh shit!
From Maximum Penalty.
Okay.
He was a drummer right before me, and there was a drummer before him named Pablo, who's no longer with us either.
Okay. I know Jimmy was in Nausea. That's cool.
Yeah, Jimmy was in Nausea. Jimmy played on a couple of recordings. He was on The Way It Is.
Okay.
Record, a compilation,
Great
Revelation.
comp.
Actually, no, I don't even think that's him. That's Pablo on drums.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first Nausea recording.
New York City, The Way It Is, it's a great comp.
It's a great comp.
It's so diverse too, all the bands on there.
Very. Then Jimmy was with them for a few years, and then when Jimmy quit to do Maximum Penalty full time, that's when I got the call. Yeah.
So you're in a band that you really love. That must have been awesome playing like your first show with them and stuff.
Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to remember where my first show was. I want to say it was in some artist space across the street from a place called KGB.
Okay.
It's on 5th, I think. 5th between Bowery and 2nd Avenue. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was like a weird artist space, and that was my first show, and it was like in the summertime, right before even recording a record with them. I remember going to the studio with them like a month after that, and recorded the first proper Nausea album.
And so when that record came out, was it? Because I'm learning about Nausea now with you and stuff I read about. Obviously, I knew who they were, but I feel like Nausea was from the scene, but they also did their own kind of thing, like ABC No Rio and like more underground stuff, as opposed to
we're more anarcho punk band. We're squatter anarcho punk band.
Okay,
very political left wing band.
Yeah. And you were squatting too out there, or no?
I did for a minute. I did.
Was that part of the thing? Everybody was squatters in the band, or no?
No. Well, it wasn't like that.
Prerequisite, whatever.
Well, here's the thing. I did live in New York. I forgot to add, between living in Philly and then moving to New York, there was a time where I was trying to get to New York anyway, and I moved there and lived there for about a month, and it was around January.
Oof.
I squatted there in January.
Damn. It's fucking brutal.
Well, how I got there, I was working construction on this clothing store on South Street called Unique Clothing.
I knew Unique Clothing,
Well, it's the same owners from the Canal Street one. So they were opening one down there. I just happened to be walking past this place, and I'm looking for work. And I walked in there, I goes, "Hey man, I need labor work. You guys need anyone?" Like, "Yeah, you can work with us." So I started doing sheetrock in there.
Wow.
And the crew that was working there were from New York. They all lived in Lower East Side area. And I told them, like, I'm originally from there. I always want to, get help back there one of these days. So when the job was done, the guy I was working with was like, "Hey, I'm squatting over here on 7th Street between B and C. You can come with me." Great. So I started squatting there.
Which is gnarly back then.
It was fucking gnarly as shit. He didn't tell me he lived in the basement of this squat, which is extra cold.
Oh,
So he takes me in there. We go. This is how we get into the building. We have to go through between two buildings to get behind this building, the entrance to the 7th Street squat, and lived in the basement. There was a little space heater, a hot plate, and 2 sets of what do you call it? Sleeping bags.
Okay.
I lived like that for a couple of weeks until I found another spot to live in. The other spot I found to live in, it was on 11th Street between B and C, and that was with Frenchie.
Oh wow!
I lived
the skin. Rest in peace.
That's when I first met Frenchie. I lived right next door to him.
He was like an old school squatter out there,
very old
right?
school.
Yeah.
But we've met previously before. But then I ran into him again. "Hey, what's up?" He said, "Hey man, how you doing?" Sweet guy. I love Frenchie. We all love Frenchie. I miss Frenchie to death. A lot of people lived in this place. I remember some guy named Dominic was living there. Some kid named Grim.
Wow.
Remember a guy named Yoda?
Maybe.
Skinhead Yoda?
Maybe, yeah.
He lived there. A lot of people lived there.
Holy shit.
So I lived there for like another month. And then I was like, I kind of getting over this. There's nothing going on. So I ended up just moving back to Philly and continued to play with Death Trip.
Yeah.
And then once I got the call, it was summertime when I heard the call for Nausea, and that's when I moved back.
Did you ever place live when you joined Nausea?
I did actually.
Okay.
And I ended up staying with Amy and Roger in Staten Island.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The famous house out there. Yeah.
I lived in that house.
There's a bunch of pit bulls out there too.
Yeah. I lived in Frenchie's old room in the basement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Were you Agnostic Front fan too as well?
Of course.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
Dude.
I mean, I still
Still
listen to Victim in Pain to this day, and it still makes me feel
those feelings too.
God, yeah. I was just thinking
Memories.
that the other day, like the 2 records I still listen to from 85, 86 is definitely Victim in Pain and definitely Age of Quarrel, Chromags.
Yeah,
those 2 records really do it for me still.
And they sound so great too, man.
It still does. Yeah, it still sounds fucking great.
And it brings you back to like a time of your life. You know exactly what you were doing during the time of those records, or just seeing those bands
totally
at that
do.
time. And
yeah.
Wow. So now you're playing in Nausea. Now you're living in New York. So you get a job when you get there too. Or you strictly just playing music only.
I got a job. I worked all kinds of jobs there. I was did all kinds of things. Some things I shouldn't talk about.
Legal and non-legal. Yeah.
Very much so. Legal and non-legal.
The hustling out there. Yeah.
I did some a lot of some construction work when I first moved there, and fortunately, we being with Nausea, knowing John, bass player, he was working at Save the Robots, and I'd be working there too with him.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll do coat checks. Sometimes I'll be bussing tables and picking up whatever is on the floor, or help him run liquor or whatever, stuff like that. Then I worked at Tower Records for a long time.
On one on Broadway?
Yep.
Wow.
In the tape department downstairs.
Famous one, dude. That
in
was
the tapes.
Sets, man. Remember those?
Yeah.
But yeah, Tower, that was an amazing location. That was like the shit.
It was great. It was awesome.
But handyman shit, you mentioned construction a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you learn that? You learn that growing up to be handy like that?
No, I just picked it up. You know, I just kind of said I can do it and did it.
It's good.
That's how I got all my jobs. Oh yeah, I could do that.
Figure
out as I go.
That's awesome.
Same thing with sound.
Some real confidence.
Same thing with sound.
That's right. You're doing sound. That's right.
That's how I learned how to do sound. I said I can do it, and I did it.
Where's your first sound gig at?
A lot of people. I was going to say CB's, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
CB's was a little bit after I started learning how to do it, but just over the years of being on a drum on the drums, just watching how sound engineers put together the mics and dialed in sounds. That's more or less how I learned, just watching.
Yeah.
And then
when
I was up to bat to do sound, it was at Wetlands.
Wetlands, that's right.
Right before the hardcore shows were there.
Okay.
I started doing it just a little bit before when it was just straight up, just regular bar band, jam band.
Reggae, hip hop is a bunch of
a lot of reggae, a lot of hip hop, a lot of Grateful Dead kind of like, you know, hippie jam band stuff.
Yeah.
Once I got my chops rolling there, then out of nowhere, Jimmy Gestapo shows up. Hey, Roy boy, I'm gonna have the hardcore shows here. I'm like, yes.
Dang. So Jimmy set it off.
I think Jimmy's the one that brought it in. I think Jimmy and Rabies were the ones that brought the shows there.
Okay.
I'm almost positive. And when I got wind of that, I was so fucking excited. I'm like, oh, this is great. Because remember, there was a period when there wasn't any hardcore Sunday matinees at CB's. It stopped for a long time.
And it got crazy there.
It did get crazy there. I was there for the one day it got crazy.
I was there too. Was it the Killing Time show? Yeah.
Yes, the gun.
I was there too. I was right there.
I was right out front.
I was hiding behind Anthony.
I was right out front, homie. I was right out front, leaning against a car, having a cigarette with Amy, actually, Nausea.
Yeah.
Amy. We're just bullshitting. And I remember this kid, I guess he wasn't allowed in the club, and I can remember him like kind of stumbling back with this big silver gun in his hand, and I just kind of like stood there with my mouth open like, I'm like, just stood there. Everyone hit the deck. I'm still like standing. Like, I remember Amy like fucking hit the deck. I'm like, oh shit.
Dude, that was crazy, man.
And I think that was the nail in the coffin for CB shows. I'm not sure what happened and why.
Me either.
I just remember seeing that. So you were there too.
Yeah, I never seen somebody pull a gun on my life. This first time seeing somebody have it out like that.
Me too. Actually, that was my first time as well.
What year was it? 89 maybe?
No, that was 90.
90. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit, man. So then they moved to the Wetlands. Yeah, man.
They moved to the Wetlands.
And then Coney Island High came a little after that.
Yeah, Wetlands, and then so I was the sound guy for all the matinee shows at Wetlands because
there was some crazy
none of the regular guys wanted to do it.
Dude, there was some crazy.
I saw some weird shit there.
There was some crazy shit pop up.
I think the most fucked up show I've ever seen at Wetlands was Carnivore.
Jesus.
I don't know if.
I'm not familiar with the band. I know the name. I just
Carnivore. That's Peter Steele's.
No, I never heard him. I just know the name. I know the history, but
I can remember it ended with it ended and started with a dead goat carcass being thrown everywhere, and at the end of the night, sorry, I know. At the end of the night, all there was just a head.
Holy shit!
I'm like, I'm not picking that thing up.
Yeah.
You can concur on this story, right?
Oh my God. John Bloodclotty would always talk about how doing shows with them and
that's crazy.
Having to do a show with them and just explaining to them like, hey, I better not see me meat on this stage while we're performing.
It was pretty messed up. Yeah.
So now it makes sense now when I think about it. Now I'm like, duh, they call Carnivore. Of course they're gonna have. I never even thought about they would do something like that. I got you. Okay.
And the other craziest,
that was the thing.
The other crazy experience there also is watching or doing sound for Crash Worship. You remember them?
I heard the name. Yes.
Yeah, I think they're from the Bay Area. They were kind of like this, like tribal industrial kind of band.
Okay.
Just really painted up and just really messy and raw sounding. They drew so much power. Because I mic'd all their stuff, like all their metal percussion. It sounded great for the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, all the power in the stage area
went out,
and half the building went out.
Damn.
And when it went out, the what do you call it? The searchlight things came on. The firelights came on from behind him.
Damn.
On the stage, and it looked so cool, and it actually worked out perfect because acoustically it just sounded amazing off stage.
Wow.
And I remember they had this like milk canister full with water, and they were passing it everywhere around the crowd, and it was like the whole place was soaking wet.
It was so hot in there too.
It was really hot in there.
So hot in there, man.
It was pretty amazing. So those, actually, the other one was watching Rage Against the Machine for the first time there.
Holy shit! What year would that be? Like 90?
Right before their album dropped.
92 maybe?
Yeah, this one Street Team and Word of Mouth was around
That was
because
huge.
I had no idea who this was. I knew who Zach was because Inside Out. I had no idea he had a whole other band. So when I saw him in there, I'm like, that's dude from Inside Out.
Holy shit!
And I'm like, what the hell is this? And they fucking busted into. Holy shit! The crowd already knew some of their songs, which is crazy.
That's pre-internet too. That's pretty amazing.
There's 600 or 700 people packed into Wetlands. You know how small that place is.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Damn. Were you a fan from the jump, seeing them?
Oh God, yeah. From the first moment I heard them kick in, I'm like, all right, they're great.
Yeah, they were on some other level back then. That's crazy,
Big time.
I got to play there 2 nights with Agnostic Front when they did the reunion. That was really fucking awesome. There was so many benefit shows.
I've done sound for you many times.
Yeah,
actually, I've done sound for your first show
with Rancid and Veil.
Yes.
Holy
shit,
dude.
But you didn't sound like this version of H2O yet.
I was screaming.
Yeah, he was full on like total hardcore screaming, and it sounded great. And then
that's on the end of our first album.
Okay, and then 2 weeks later, he comes back with what you hear on the first album. I'm like, what the hell?
That's true. The 7-inch.
I'm like, you can sing. He's like, fuck, I don't want to scream anymore, man. I want to sing. I'm like, fuck yeah, you sound great, dude.
Holy, thank you, man. That's crazy. You were there. You did sound. Yes. That was a fucking.
You sound checked with Friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah, Marginal Man. Yeah.
I'm like, this is great.
That show was me, Armand, Pete, Tim from Ensign. We jumped on stage and Rancid let us play one song. It was like a sold out show. Rancid maybe Let's Go tour. Avail was opening. We got to play one song. I was just screaming and going crazy, falling over the shit, and then that was it. People were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
I thought it was great.
Shit, thank you. Holy shit! So we have that recording on the record. It's fucking very interesting. That's cool. You did sound for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! You did sound. So you're actually on our first album. That's crazy.
That's right.
I owe you money for that. And Lars made a joke. He's like, "New record, an Epitaph next summer," and then we ended up getting signed like 2 years later, which anyway was weird. Holy shit, man.
Amazing.
So you're doing that and you're doing Nausea.
Yeah.
Was Nausea a pretty big band in the scene? I think you guys are pretty big back then.
No.
Big enough for Heart in that scene, no?
Yeah, not really. I mean, not in America, not so much. But when we went to Europe, the first time after the record came out, we had a really good buzz going on there. We played every squat.
I was going to say that.
It was a big squat
Squats
tour.
are nice there, though.
Amazing.
They take care of you, too.
Yeah.
There's ramps that give you catering. They're like everything.
I've never seen anything like that. It's like, wow, this is amazing. Like, they really have it together. Like, the idea of squatting a building and not letting it go to waste, they had the right idea.
Yeah, they take care of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really live it, for sure.
They do. And it was great to see.
That was your first time in Europe?
My first time in Europe was with Nausea. My first ever record I ever recorded, proper record, was with Nausea. Everything that I've done, like that I do to now, they were the first one. Well, I mean, Youthquake and Word Made Flesh were my first bands, but the band that I really started to do it with, like make the records and tour, was Nausea, for sure.
So you got there and it was a way better reaction to the record, I suppose, in America. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the record just been out for like a month or two, and everyone had it, everyone knew it. And we came there, and it was
you guys
great.
in a van over there?
Yeah, we rented a van called Dix.
Nice.
DIKS, Toyota Dix van. it was blue with yellow lighting, big Dix.
Sick.
Awesome.
Did you guys sleep at the squats too? I'm sure you did.
Obviously. Oh yeah, we stayed.
You're living in a squat in America, then you go tour in a squat. Obviously, yeah.
It was
and
awesome.
probably a long tour too. We toured like crazy back then.
It was like 4.5, 5 weeks.
That was normal back then.
Yeah, my
phones.
My 20th birthday was there. I was 19 when I showed up there, and I left Europe a 20-year-old. It was great. I can't remember where was I at 20. Oh yeah, my 20th birthday. We spent it on a boat ride from Denmark to Norway.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you go to Europe for the first time, you come back, you're like, holy shit.
It was amazing. Never seen anything.
It's incredible, man.
To see all the street signs, different languages, different currency. There was different currency.
Different side of the street, driving, everything.
Well, that was in England.
Yeah.
We didn't get to England. We only did Europe.
So then you come back to America and you start playing shows. Is there a different reaction then since the record's been out for a little while?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Then that's when we're playing, more shows and more shows at CB's, playing ABC in Rio. Then we did our first West Coast tour around 1990 with Glisten Max and Neurosis.
Oh, shit.
Mind Rot, which ended up turning into that band Dystopia, I think.
Okay. And that was a great reaction out here in Cali.
Yeah, amazing. My first time on the West Coast was then, and I can remember telling myself then, I'm like, I want to live here one of these days. 10 years.
So what year was that?
1990.
Oh yeah, and you moved here when?
99.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
So Nausea is like a full-time thing then for you at that point.
absolutely. Yeah.
Making enough money to survive. You're in a squat, so you're making enough money to survive. You're just living and playing music.
Living and playing music, just working 2-3 jobs, and
Yeah.
lucky to jam a couple times a month and play a show.
Yeah.
We used to do this hourly, rehearsal spaces. You kind of get what you get. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but Nausea didn't play like bigger venues. Only strictly, they would never play club with a barricade or expensive ticket.
No. Nothing like
very
that.
underground.
Very underground.
Stayed very underground.
Very underground.
And who set? Was they like the first ones to play ABC in a Rio in the sense back then? They started back then or no? It seemed like it was.
We played it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
We played it when it was upstairs, and we played it when it was downstairs. Yeah.
And that was just like the opposite of CB's. Like, they're both underground, but that was more.
It was even more underground than CB's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was way more underground.
Super more because CB
I think we played there with Green Day.
ABC.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back then.
Because CB smelled like shit, looked like shit, but had a great sound. It was just a great energy.
I try to tell everybody that. They're like, oh, that place is shit. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It had the best fucking sound, and I'll tell you why.
Because Roy did sound there.
Thanks.
He dialed it all in and left it that way.
No, I mean, I'll explain to you why. Because first off, the system is in mono. Okay. So it's really punchy. It had like 2 sets of low, mid, and sub cabinets on either side of the stage. It had a row of high mid cabinets above the stage.
True.
And it had, I think, 2 or 3 2-inch horns way above the stage. 2 facing all the way straight down the room, and 2 facing towards the middle of the dance floor. And it just had a fucking punch, man. And also you had the Soundcraft Series 2 board, which I think had like a lot of Jensen and electronics, which I think some like Neve or some of the Neve components are similar or somewhat, but it had a fat sound to it.
Yeah.
It was a really simple system.
Nobody's ever broken down CBGBs like that ever in my entire life. Like
that's how I remember.
Yeah, but you
it.
worked it, so you know it.
Yeah.
I love that there was no monitors on stage. I hate.
Well,
monitors on stage.
there was two,
originally. Well, the sides, but not on the stage itself.
Yeah, you didn't really need it. I mean, the stage was so loud, you didn't really need monitors. I mean, they had the side fills and they had one for the drummer in the back, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Miking, it was all SM57s like this with no spongy screen on the inside. That was part of the sound. So I think the grill kind of gave it some fat mid-range to it.
Okay.
I remember all the drums were mic'd with that. No 57s, just SM57s everywhere. No overheads. I think maybe a D112 inside the kick, and that was it.
So who do you think set that up like that way? Who do you think put it all in there?
A guy named Charlie Martin.
Okay.
He was a house engineer at the Ritz on 11th Street. I heard he was the one that helped design that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like a legit sound. The way you just broke it down, it seems like a legit real club, which it was.
It's a JBL system.
Okay, JBL. Okay.
Custom JBL system.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. For stage diving, for running around stage, it's perfect for everything. Like, and I remember the speaker was up in the corner because it was one that hit my head on it once at a token entry show. Cut my head right in.
Is it one of the high mid cabinets?
Yeah, man, jumping up to do a stage dive.
Ouch.
Smashed my whole shit. And I was living with Jimmy Chunks. I was like 18 when it happened to me. And he's trying to do a show. I'm like, yo, and everybody's like, yo, you got blood coming on your forehead because I hit that speaker on the corner trying to do a stage dive. But yeah, that's great. It was an incredible sound, man. Yeah.
I always wonder what happened to that whole system. I like to know where it is, where it exists. It'd be nice if they could set that up somewhere.
So Nausea was happy to just play on the floor, not really super DIY. Like, did Nausea really care about like just playing super squats with like kind of just on the floor? Maybe not so good as CB's. Like,
I think with Nausea, it wasn't really about that. It was more about just getting our word across.
That's what I'm saying. So it didn't matter where you played, what kind of soundboard, none of that shit.
Not really. Well, we want to make sure, obviously, there's a decent system for us to play through, but that wasn't really too much of our concern. More of our concern was, are we going to have equipment to play on? Because when we toured Europe, I didn't bring a drum kit.
Damn, I was borrowing people's shit.
Borrowed the opening band's kit every night. It was a different kit every night, so that was a fucking challenge. Some nights I got good kits, some nights not so good. Sometimes I would break kids' drums.
Yeah.
And I would feel bad. And obviously, whatever money we'd have, we'd give it to the kid, to get new heads or, I'd break cymbals. Like, oh shit, you know. I used to bring just the essentials. I brought my snare, I brought my pedals, brought my sticks.
Okay.
But everything else was all borrowed.
Yeah.
Our guitar players, they brought just their heads, and we used new cabinets every day.
Isn't it like a thing maybe now? Like it's not really cool to ask somebody to borrow their drums because your drums are tweaked for you, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if you loan them to somebody else, they could fuck up this. I don't know. It's weird to ask for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I could borrow a mic from somebody. It's a different thing.
I mean, I lend my drums to whoever.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day, if we have an opening band, and there's not a lot of room on the stage, I'll be like, use my fucking drums.
Yeah, that's
In
right.
fact,
That's awesome.
last time I've done that was being out with Hell Yeah, Non-Point was
Non-Point?
yeah, fucking,
Non-Point,
I love those guys.
Yeah.
Rob, their drummer, we showed up this place. I can't remember where it was, but it was like literally a foot of room. There's no way you're gonna set up on stage. Like, just use my kit. I have no problem sharing my
It's
drum
awesome,
kit
man.
to this day.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
But I do feel like some people are weird about like in the drum world, maybe like not borrowing. It's like,
Well, look,
how dare you ask to touch
I
that?
know what it's like to be the opening band too, and having
Yeah.
to suffer that shit. I'm not going to let anybody go through that
Mhm.
if I can help it.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're cool with getting on my stupid drum kit, play it. Yeah, you can move a couple things. You know, you want to use your stool, it's just lower, or you want to lower your snare drum. Yeah, fine.
yeah. I mean, maybe borrowing somebody's mic's kind of gross because it's
That's gross.
it is kind of gross. If you think about it, because you're spitting on it,
That's
like
fucking gross.
like Rusty brings his own. I always forget to bring one on tour. And you go on the stage sometimes, the microphone smells like it was up somebody's ass. Like like Gigi Allen had it or something.
Yeah.
It's like really disgusting. And I feel like I realize now with the COVID and everything happened, like I am like a germ collector. They should make like a microphone condom, like you take on and off every night, put it on the microphone, take it off. But for me, I just hand the mic out. People are going to spit out. I collect germs all night long.
I think
That's all
everybody
I
in this
do.
room, I think our immune systems are fine because we used to hang out at CBGB's.
That bathroom.
Oh, I've taken a shit on that bathroom
Me
so many
too.
times and had people.
Me too.
I've had
Many
people
times.
Yeah, on the throne, on the stage.
Yeah.
People walk in like, oh, sorry, dude. Hang on. Oh, okay.
I've done it many times.
I know you have.
But I do feel like we are.
See, Toby and I have no shame.
No shame.
Whatsoever.
I do feel like people that tour like we did and travel and fly in many flights and sleep on floors.
You do what
I feel
you gotta
like
do.
we have a different immune system to the normal people, I guess, who had never done that. Not saying that we're immune to COVID or any kind of thing,
No.
the flu, but we do have a strong immune system because we've done a lot of shit like that. I feel like we put our bodies through hell and germs and touching things and traveling. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
We put ourselves through a lot of danger and probably didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Many close calls. I've had many close calls.
So how long you in Nausea for after? Like how long did that last for you?
I was in Nausea from 89 till about, I think we stopped at the end of 91.
91?
91, 92. Yeah, it kind of
Ran its course?
Yeah, it ran its course. I mean, Amy left the band. When she left the band, I always felt the vibe just kind of went down, and I wasn't happy with that because I loved her.
You were
vibe.
close to her?
Yeah, she was my, really close to her. She's my friend,
Yeah.
and still we're still good friends, and we still talk every now and then. So when her vibe was gone, I just felt there was definitely a big gap, something missing there, and even the crowd wasn't really there anymore either, because the crowd was there to see and hear her too.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
It's hard to change that, man.
Yeah.
Swap it out, man.
And her songs that she would sing wouldn't be really played anymore, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. So kind of just
You're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then how long was you in between that gig and was Shelter next?
No, there was one other. John and I started another band called Thorn.
Okay, that's right, Thorn.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
We were more like an industrial kind of metalish kind
It's
of
different.
Yeah, way different. And it had the guitar player Stefan Flam from that sludgy doom metal band from Long Island called Winter.
Okay.
He was involved too. We did that for a few years. Made one record on Roadrunner Records.
Nice.
Didn't really do anything. Made another EP, did some shows, did like very, very light weekend touring stuff. Band didn't really do anything. So, we tried it for a few years and then we just kind of disbanded. And then I got the call from Ray and Purcell. No, actually I got the call from Mackie.
Oh, shit. That's right, 'cause he was playing with them.
He was just playing with them.
right.
I think he was
Mantra.
going to go with Fun Loving Criminals.
Yes.
And I remember he called me, or actually I saw him. I think we were hanging out at Spiral or something like that.
Spiral.
I lived down the street from Spiral Brawl.
Okay,
so
Spiral
that was the
is a
bar
spot.
that's the spot we all used to hang out.
Totally.
And he pulls me aside and he's like, yo, man, I heard you're looking for a gig. You know, Shelter's looking for a drummer. I'm like, 'cause I'm gonna be doing Fun Lovin'. You into it? He's like, yeah. So he gave me Purcell and Ray's number, and I went audition and got the gig. And it was for the Mantra album.
Yeah. Were you a fan of Youth of Today and Shelter?
Hell yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Love that shit.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So the first band you loved was Nausea. You got to be in that band, and then the next move is going to be Shelter, which is who was in that? Adam wasn't in there though.
Adam was in it.
He was.
That's
okay.
when you guys. I'll get to that part.
Okay.
This is how they post Adam. No,
he was ready though.
I know. He was ready
coming
to move
to
on.
us on our van and shit.
No, I remember that. No, it was dude. That was a great tour. I'm gonna get to that because that was an amazing tour. I had best time with you guys. But
that's right. Mackie was before. Okay.
Yeah, Mackie played with them, and then I joined and did the rest of the tour of for the Mantra album. I went to Brazil.
Great record, man.
I went to Brazil
they
with
were
them.
Huge. Their bodyguards, everything.
Oh, dude,
huge there.
Dude, Brazil.
It was a fucking hit song.
It was like holy shit.
Here We Go Again was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. So my first tour with them was in Brazil.
For the first time going to South America?
Yeah.
Sick.
My first time ever going to South America.
It's fucking awesome.
And then we did Europe. And then we did America.
Yeah.
With you.
So
H2O. And Downset.
That's right.
Yeah.
So South America, though, Adam told me all about that. I think that's when Adam wasn't in the band anymore after that, I don't think.
No?
He got fired in South America.
He was there, though.
He was there, but I think he got...
Actually, that was his last tour.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, so then went Europe, America, then Brazil.
Yeah, so wasn't Adam in H2O by the time we toured with Shelter? Or no?
No.
Okay, that's interesting.
No. I recall Adam kind of hanging out with you guys more when we got to the West Coast.
Yeah, riding in their van and stuff.
I rode in your van a few times too, just hanging out, That was fun, man. That was amazing.
So what year would that tour be?
96.
96. H2O, Shelter, Downset. That's a sick tour, man. Your Downset were killing it right then too, right?
Amazing.
With Anger.
I think it was Check Your People was the album, the second album.
Shout out to Ray, man. I talked to Ray.
I
talked to Ray, yeah.
I love Ray.
Damn, so South America, first time going there, you're on MTV, your bodyguards, huge fucking shows, right?
It's weird, yeah.
That's like a totally different, from Nausea to that, it's just two different worlds.
Yeah, actually with Shelter, it was the first time I ever played one of those big European rock festivals.
How did you feel coming from the way you were with your beliefs, squatting, playing small venues, like not, you know what I mean, to all of a sudden being into the total opposite spectrum of music, kind of in a sense where big stages, security, big song on TV, MTV. Mm-hmm. It's a drastic difference from Nausea for sure.
Yeah. Well, Nausea wouldn't fit that criteria. It wouldn't be.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's two different worlds for sure.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was great. It was great to play in a more, should I say it, more professional side of the scale, and then that was fine. I never experienced that. Yeah, I never experienced that level before, and to play in front of like 100,000 in the daytime.
It's fucking crazy.
It was fucking brutal. I loved it.
Yeah.
I can remember like the first time walking on stage with Ray and Purcell and Adam and Franklin. It's just like, holy shit. I remember looking at Franklin. I'm like, "You believe this shit?" He's like, "Yo, man, that's fucked up." You know how Franklin like I love him. He speaks really low. Like,
totally.
Yo, I fucking miss that dude. I haven't seen him in years.
He's out here, man. We're gonna find him.
I heard he's out here, and I really want to see him. I really want to hang out with him and just bro down. He's
how was that tryout for Shelter?
Awesome.
Was it in the city somewhere?
It was in the city. It wasn't like SIR. It was somewhere on the west side. Some like hourly place.
Yeah.
And I remember showing up there with just, my cymbal, snare, kick. And I hadn't seen Ray and Purcell for a long time. Not since like they were Youth of Today.
Damn.
Yeah. And they're like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? You ready to do this shit?" Cool. First song was Message to the Bakavad.
Sick.
Actually, I did the first first three off the record. That was the tryout.
Sick.
And then a couple from a couple of the older ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they were.
And so how many days you have to practice for that? Was it like...
I practiced for I took about a week.
Yeah.
I took about a week on my own. Had the, Walkman headphones on and just played the songs and just figure out my hand movements for that. and then showed up and just played.
Who played on that record originally, the drummer?
Dave DeCenzo,
Okay.
who actually later that same year was in White Devil with Harley
shit.
and Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to say Dave DeCenzo, I think he went to Berkeley,
Okay.
Boston drummer, and I'm not sure how he got in with Shelter, but yeah, he kicked ass on that record. That record's drumming on that's slamming, dude.
Yeah. So that record's my favorite Shelter
He's a great
record.
drummer.
So then Europe was great too, right after that?
Yeah, Europe was great. I remember the middle of that European tour, which I thought was the highlight, other than opening up for Venom at Dynamo.
That's sick.
And that was their first time back together as the three.
Wow.
I can remember me, Franklin, and I in the middle of the audience, like just flipping out, like headbanging. Oh my God! I'm like, you like Venom? He's like, I love Venom. I'm like, rad. So yeah, Franklin and I just headbanging at War with Satan. It was great.
So Europe was great, and then back to the States. We did that tour.
I'm not done with Europe.
Let's go. Bring it back.
Oh man, we ended up playing a bunch of shows opening up for the Sex Pistols when they got back together. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's 90 what?
96.
Holy shit. Yeah, it was the big reunion. That's right.
We played our own direct support show to them in Berlin in some airplane hangar. I can't remember the name of it.
Jesus.
Which was great. I got to meet all of them. They were awesome. We played somewhere else in Germany with Sugar Ray opening up and Cypress Hill.
Damn.
And them. And then we did Roskilde with them.
It's a great festival.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. That's when they walked off stage after after 2 or 3 songs. Lydon kept warning the crowd to stop throwing bottles, and one hit him in the head, and he's like, "Okay, I'm out. Fuck you all."
And he left?
Yeah, he left, and the crowd started going nuts. And I remember I was with Franklin and one of our road crew guys, this guy named Pedro. I looked at him and go, let's get out of here because everything's going to go fucking apeshit right now. We ran.
I remember hearing about that or even seeing a video of that maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's on video.
Holy shit.
I looked it up not long ago. Like, oh, yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Play with the Sex Pistols. And Venom, that your first time going to Europe. That's fucking...
Yeah. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah. So then back to U.S.
Yeah.
And the record was crushing in America too, I'm pretty sure. It was doing good.
Mantra?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think their record was doing great everywhere.
And the video was getting played. I remember that, man. I remember seeing the video.
Yeah.
Adam's in the video. That's right. Yeah, that's right. He's the kid on the bench.
Adam's in the video, and I think Vinny Signorelli from the Unsane Scraping Fetus and the Swans was the drummer in that video.
Oh, shit.
I think he played with them for a minute, too.
Okay.
They had so many different drummers. Like, I can't believe how many drummers Shelter had until I joined the band. I think I was number 8 or 7.
Holy shit.
Some shit like that. That's what Purcell told me.
Wow. So then we do this tour in the U.S. and it was so fucking fun.
Amazing.
It was a great package. Was that a whole U.S. tour?
Yeah.
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 That was a great package, man, because my record just came out.
H2O Shelter Downset. I'll never forget that. I have some pictures from that somewhere.
I'd love to see them, and that'd be awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then so I guess whatever Adam happened in South America, when he came back, he started hanging out with us in the van more, talking to us more, wanting to hang out with more people. I don't know if he was feeling the vibes. Because he was just a kid from England who was like a fan of those bands. And he came over, he became a monk, lived in the temple, joined the band, one of his favorite bands.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of rules to follow. And I think he was starting to realize, like, I was still young. He wanted to get out and try life, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, right after that tour is when he ended up leaving and joining H2O.
Yeah.
Because the first tour he did was with Murphy's Law, and Jimmy took him to get his lap dance, and that totally changed his life. He went from being like a monk.
I think I heard that. I was like, oh my God.
Shout out to Adam Blake and Jimmy G. That was the Beer and Water Tour, 96, actually. 96.
That was Beer and Water Tour.
Yeah, and so Adam came out of his shell, literally had joined the band. His first show, I have a video, he's sitting backstage, it's H2O Madball at the PWAC. Fucking crazy-ass, great crowd show waiting to play. He's in the back with his hair like the monk sitting, he's so scared looking. I'm like, dude, you're going to kill it, man. It was fucking... He was such a shy kid. His name Pob. They called him Pob.
Pob, yeah. That's what he's called him. Yeah, I remember when he came back, he showed me the tattoo. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, man, it's full on, isn't it?
Full on. That's what she would say back then.
Full on. I miss that guy too. I haven't seen him actually, last time I saw him was with all you guys in Europe 4 years ago when I was with Ministry. We played,
that's
we
right.
played that Czech show.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I can't remember what festival that was. That was one of the last times I actually literally seen him in front of me.
Yeah. So yeah, he went from being totally sheltered to being H2O, traveling, Murphy's Law. Yeah, and so how long did you do last in shelter after that U.S. tour?
Not long after. I mean, after that, I was kind of in between. They were in between. They didn't have anything going on after a while. So
Yeah.
during their downtime, I started playing with this other band called Crisis,
Yeah.
and I recorded an album with them.
Yep.
The Howling. At the same time, getting a phone call from Max Cavalera to form something with him, and it wasn't called Soulfly yet.
Holy shit.
He's just been fresh out of Sepultura at that time, and then I went and did that with him.
So you were the first, like one of the calls you made to be in the band before it even got announced or any of that
Yep.
shit, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So then that did really well. Like when did that first record come out?
98, but we recorded it in 97.
And how many albums were you with them? How long were you with Soulfly for?
From 97 till about 99, and then I came back 2001. And
Okay.
it lasted till about 2003. I did 2 albums with them, the first and third album.
Was that Roadrunner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, they've been Roadrunner for a long time, man.
Yeah.
All that catalog and then the
Yeah.
solo stuff probably.
Yeah.
So how was that response for that? People were stoked on that when it came out?
Yeah. I mean, it
I remember hearing about it.
It
when
did
came
great. Played everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere and anywhere, man. That was probably the beginning of where I'm at now in that world. You know what I mean?
And how'd you know Max back then?
I knew him from when we met each other actually in 1990 at the
Okay.
Ritz with Sick of It All, Napalm Death, that show.
That was the tour I was on. That was 91. Those New Titans.
I haven't met you. We didn't meet each other yet.
Okay, but that was the tour that I was on. We talked
about.
about the other day. Yeah.
Okay, that's when I first met Max and Igor.
And Sacred Reich,
a
yeah.
mutual friend of ours introduced us,
Okay.
and he was like, Max wanted to talk to me about Amoebics and punk and all that. I'm like, great, you're into that, awesome. And you knew about Nausea.
Of course he did. Yeah.
You knew about Nausea, and I thought that was cool because at the time I was, really, I thought they were a great band. There's nothing like it,
Was that Beneath the Remains time or
No,
Arise?
that was Arise.
Okay, Arise. Yeah.
That was Arise.
That's dope. Yeah, he knew it was up with punk and hardcore back then for sure.
Yeah.
So you met him then on that New Titans on the Block.
And then I didn't see him after that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're label mates too, Shelter and fucking Sepultura at the same
Yeah.
time.
Actually, we ran into each other on that tour, on the Shelter tour in Roskilde.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you have to go to South America right immediately to do that or no?
What?
Well, he was in Arizona then. You had to go do Soulfly.
He was in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, he was already in Arizona by that point. Yeah.
And so how long did you Soulfly for? A couple years?
I did it for a couple of years. I mean, the first time I went there, it was probably like, I don't know, April or May of 97. And it was just him and I. And he had like 4 or 5 songs. And we'd get those together. We didn't even have a bass player yet.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But then when I finally made the move, like in middle of summer.
You did?
Yeah. I came back in July.
Oh, shit.
July, from New York City to July in Arizona. Yeah.
Brutal, man.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
And we jammed in this really, really hot garage kind of like warehouse space that he had, I remember. But we just soldiered through it and just went for it and came up with all these songs and then went and recorded.
Did you live out there
later.
for a while in Arizona?
Kind of. I mean, I stayed out there. I didn't live there. Yeah, I lived there for technically for a few months.
Okay.
And then we went to Indigo Ranch in Malibu and recorded there.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So what was after Soulfly for you?
After Soulfly, in between when I came back to Soulfly.
Yeah.
Okay. I played with another band. I moved out here.
So that was 2000. That was 99.
I moved out here in 99, August 99. It's already been 21 years now.
Holy shit. I came 2001, a little after you, yeah.
I ended up joining a band called Medication.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
That's with Whitfield Crane from Ugly Kid Joe.
That's the singer from Ugly Kid Joe? Holy shit.
Logan Mader from Machine Head.
Okay.
On guitar. Robert Trujillo on bass.
Wow.
While he was still in Aussie. So he was kind of moonlighting with this on the side, helping Whit and stuff. So I played with them for, I don't know, about a year.
How was Ugly Kid Joe, dude? That's cool.
Whit? He's the best.
Yeah.
I love him, man.
And he comes from our world kind of, or no, a different kind of
world?
world?
No, he comes completely different. He's from Palo Alto originally.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a rocker, man.
Yeah.
A great singer, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's a great dude, man. He's an amazing vocalist, man. I never heard anyone sing Bon Scott the way he does. He's
really great singer.
He's good at imitating Bon Scott.
and Rob was Infectious Grooves before that, around the
Rob was he was doing Infectious Grooves and Suicidal Tendencies. Yeah. Great
Holy
player.
shit, that's amazing that he was in that band. That's cool, man.
And
It's a
actually,
sick lineup.
and during that time with Medication, I was actually playing with Rob in his other project thing called Mass Mental. It's the band that he has with Brooks Wackerman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. There's so many bands and so many.
I've done so many different things.
Yeah, you have.
Sessions. I mean, there's so many different bands I've played with, like off the cuff, that I can't even remember right now.
You played in some records too, just running in the band, just doing like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But even working at Continental Divide, I remember.
Oh, shit. Trigger.
Yeah, with Trigger. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
My old boss. He took care of me. He was
Holy
awesome.
shit. Yeah, Continental was.
Hi,
sick.
Trigger. Miss you. But I can remember there's one night. I'll give you an example. There was one night I was doing sound there. I cannot remember the name of this band, Save My Life, or even remember what they sounded like. I remember setting them up. I'm like, "Where's your drummer? He's not here yet." Okay, you guys got about 40 minutes. He's got to show up sometime. All right. Trigger's like, "Yo, what's going on? Why is this band on? They're waiting for their drummer." All right, well, you got to do something about it. I'm like, all right.
He didn't get, Trigger kept shit running.
All
there,
right,
man.
but check this out. The band's like, look, man, we came a long way. We just want to play. I go, do you play drums? And I looked at him. I go, I do. Do you want to play? I'm like, I don't know your fucking songs, dude.
What?
He's like, just look at me and change what I need to change. I go, all right, you look at me for verse and chorus.
And you work in there?
And I just did it.
And
Yeah.
who's the band?
I don't remember the name. It was a 3-piece.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I went and just played.
Wow.
I let them start the song, and I hear it, and I'll just go through the Rolodex of drum beats in my head and see what fits to it,
Wow,
and went with
man.
it, and they were stoked.
What did Trigger think?
What the hell are you doing?
Dude, I loved it.
Then he was like, wow, what the hell are you doing?
I was just thinking now about Trigger when you mentioned his name, like how he didn't give a fuck who you were, who you were with. If you couldn't get in or something going on, he'd be like, no, sorry, you have to wait. Like, he didn't give a fuck.
He didn't give a fuck.
He didn't play no favoritism to who
Nope.
was in the scene, nothing like that. He was always protected this club, ran that shit.
He was really fair,
point,
man.
yeah.
He took care. He
Yes.
took care of everyone that worked with him. He's great.
And even if it was like a special night, I mean, we try to go maybe for some sort of night. He's like, sorry, guys, can't get in. Sorry, it's sold out. Sorry, this. He didn't give a fuck if you played the night before. He didn't care, dude.
No, he didn't give a shit.
That was the spot for many, many years, man.
Well, yeah, I was bouncing between like working like in the mid '90s. This is between Soulfly and Shelter.
Okay.
I was working Coney Island, Continental, Wetlands.
Holy shit.
Those 3 places, and then I would get hired out, exclusively by some bands locally.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go work at Brownies or CB's.
Brownies.
Brownies. Remember Brownies, right?
Holy shit, man.
I think that's baby Coney Island High now.
Yeah.
From what I heard Jesse Mellon from D-Generation bought it out and turned that into mini Coney Island.
The Z Bar and fucking
Z-Bar.
That's where Derek worked at Z Bar. Yeah.
Z-Bar.
Z Bar.
Remember Z-Bar? I remember you at Z-Bar, man.
Yeah, I was at No Tell Motel as
Oh
well.
no!
No-Tell Motel. No-Tell Motel was the shit too.
I used to hang out there. Babyland. Remember Babyland?
Babyland, yeah. There was so many fucking spots back
Beowulf.
then. Oh yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that weird club downstairs?
Downstairs.
Yeah.
What was the one like? It was over by like Thompson Street by the jewelry district. There's a jewelry store there, like Magnus. I forget it was downtown. Everybody went to. It was a rock club all the way downstairs. It was like over by Generation Records.
Oh.
Everybody loved it. It was
Scrap Bar.
Scrap Bar. Yeah, that was fucking another spot. Dude, so many fucking spots, man.
Yeah.
So you're back and forth in Arizona and you're in Soulfly and that's going really. How many years you in Soulfly for? How many albums you do with them?
2.
Okay. And then it just ended, just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, we just all kind of moved on,
Yeah.
Did my thing.
And I saw you did some classical film scoring.
Yeah.
Legion and Shudder and stuff.
Yeah, Legion was an independent film made by Robert Sexton, and he used to be actually a bass player of a Jersey metal punk band.
Really?
Genocide.
Oh, I heard the name. Yeah.
That's where he hails from, and he makes a lot of videos. He does a lot of music videos. Like he's done a couple Soulfly videos and
Cool.
Dillinger. I think he's done a lot of stuff. I do little spots here and there for people and some
That's cool, man.
TV commercial stuff, some overseas stuff. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm working on something now that I can't really talk about,
It's cool you're doing that.
which sucks. But I am currently working on a movie right now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Then I saw you. Then you actually ended up playing a separate tour.
I did.
What year was that? What year was that?
2006.
And so what happened? The drummer just couldn't. Something happened. Was it like a?
Well, it's more like Igor was taking a break from the
Oh,
band.
that's right. Okay.
Because him and Lima were pregnant, and he was
okay.
having a baby at that time, and they needed someone to fill in. So I was around, and I just played with Andreas a month or two before that at Roadrunner United show.
Okay.
It's a compilation album
Okay.
of all different Roadrunner artists getting together, writing, interchanging from different bands.
That's cool.
Like
That's awesome.
Dino Cazares was one captain
Fear
that
Factory?
had a bunch of people. Rob Flynn had a bunch of people.
Okay.
Joey Jordison had a bunch of people. And so those guys would assemble different band members from different bands on
That's
Roadrunner
cool.
and write new stuff to celebrate the 25th anniversary?
Of Roadrunner.
Yeah, 25th anniversary
That's
of Roadrunner.
cool, man.
So then a few months later after that, in December, Nokia at Nokia Theater in New York, we all performed some of those songs live and
Awesome.
some of the classic Roadrunner songs with some of the artists that were
Sick.
involved.
That's cool.
And I played a couple of songs with Andreas, a couple Sepultura songs. And at that time, he's like, "Hey man, I don't think Igor's going to be around to do this part of the tours. Would you be into it?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. I have nothing going on."
Mm-hmm.
Like by that point, there was a period though, for a few years, I stopped playing drums.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of gave it
Got
up.
burn on it?
No, I gave it up.
Wow.
I gave it up. I put my sticks down for a minute.
What year would that be?
End of 2004, beginning of 2005. I was in a really dark place, and I wasn't.
Oh shit.
I didn't really feel like I was gonna accomplish anything more. I was 34 years old. I'm like, okay, it's gates closed.
Damn.
And I just found myself just behind a board again at the Key Club.
Oh shit, that's right.
Where I didn't want to be, but I mean,
I remember you working there, dude.
it was
actually.
a great job. The system was awesome. The people running it were great to me, and I'm thankful for them for that forever. But I didn't really want to be there. I wanted to perform.
Isn't that crazy when you think I don't know. It's
But let me finish. But then I get the call months before all that. And I get the call from Dino saying, "What are you doing?" I'm putting together this thing for Roadrunner. Would you be into playing drums? I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
Mm-hmm.
So that basically opened up the whole door back into that world again.
Yeah.
And then the ball rolled, and then now I'm here.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So how many years you doing Key Club? Like 2 years?
I did Key Club for about a year and a half.
So yeah, there was a bunch of hardcore shows there too. You probably were there during those times.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of bands would come through playing there.
I've mixed a lot of bands there. I mixed some really good bands there. I think the coolest thing that I got to mix there was Jeff Goldblum and Peter Weller, RoboCop,
Holy shit.
in a jazz trio band together for some benefit, for something I can't remember what, but I remember
That's sick.
they both walked in. I'm like, holy shit. And they were the coolest fucking people.
It's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. It came out of my mouth when I met Peter Weller. He's like, "Hi." He's like, "How you doing?" He's like, "Hi, Peter Weller." I go, "RoboCop," and he started laughing. I'm like, "Sorry." He's like, "Oh, that's cool, man." I'm like, "Wow, I didn't realize you guys played music." He's a cornet player.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Goldblum, sick piano player.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, amazing.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So when you first said you want to play drums, you started doing that. How soon did you start working there? Realize you missed playing shows? Was it
Immediately?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then during that time, I also started working in my wife's hair salon doing extensions.
Oh shit!
So I figured, okay, this is what I'll do then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just learned how to do it.
Mm-hmm. I still know.
You started doing hair. So you started doing hair.
I've always kind of done hair. I mean, I've done my own hair. I've cut my own mohawks for years.
Uh-huh.
No one else is going to do it.
Yeah.
1984, 85. You can't go to a barbershop in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, and get a mohawk. You have to kind of do it yourself.
Holy shit! So you started doing hair.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
You can still do that now. Obviously, if you wanted to, never like a skill for that.
Well, if my wife wants extensions, I'll do them on her.
She does hair still.
Oh yeah, she's been doing it for 35 years.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, we have a studio.
He had his hair done too. There, Derek had his hair done there before. No. You did? You had your dreads done over there?
No, I had a curl when I first came out.
Yeah, right.
And then I decided,
What?
change it up.
Did the Hell Yes come before Stonesour?
That was after.
Okay.
Way after.
So what's the music after you do that thing with Roadrunner? So when does Stonesour hit? When does that start?
Stonesour happened
pretty
after playing with Sepultura.
Okay.
When I got home from that, they were actually right before going out with Sepultura. I was practicing, and for them to meet them in Brazil to practice. While I was practicing, I get a call from Nick Raskulenix, the producer,
okay, I remember
saying that they need a drummer for a few days to fill in and play on the record, which I did. I didn't really know them. I kind of knew Corey.
Okay.
Kind of knew Jim, but not really. I didn't know the other guys in the band. I didn't know any of their music.
Is this before they dropped any music or anything, Stonesour?
Well, they already had a first album out.
Okay.
So I'm on the second album. So I'm basically just playing to a click track, guitars, and bass. That was the first time I ever done that. Normally, I play live with a band.
Totally.
And like, you want me to do what to what? Like, well, the guitars and bass are already pre-recorded. Just play to that, and they'll retrack to you.
Yeah.
So then I would listen to what the demo version of the drums were, and then kind of like put my own take on it, and then did a bunch of takes of each song. And, I tracked like 13, 14 songs in 3 days. Without
really meeting the guy. You met him before, maybe, but not really knowing them,
Yeah. It was at Dave Grohl's studio at 606.
Yeah. It's a dope spot. I've been there once,
Yeah. And it was cool, And then I went on tour with these guys. I came back, and they're like, well, we want to make you a full-time member. You want to do this or not? I'm like,
holy crap.
Never had that, so I went forward with that.
Wow.
And then these guys got Gene Belladonna on drums, who actually I later hooked up with at 606 with his new band. Ego Kills Talent.
Ego Kills Talent.
Saw them like last year. They borrowed a drum machine off me. Steve Ebbets. Roy, you have a drum machine? Yeah. Bring it.
So Stonesour, is that one of the biggest bands you've been in at that point?
Yeah.
Would they become? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Most successful.
Yeah. So they actually be in the band where they really didn't meet you, though. You played out, they heard what you played and said, we want to talk to you again, come meet up with us, whatever. And then, wow.
And they offered me full member.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why wouldn't I take that?
Yeah.
And I love the music. And I just played on the record, and those guys are cool. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
This is a whole new thing. Good.
It's fucking awesome. So that record came out and did really well, that second album?
It did great. And yeah, we toured for like a couple of years on that one.
Wow.
And then that was all said and done. Corey goes back to do Slipknot for a few years. And it was like a back and forth ping pong thing for the past 13 years. I've been in a band 14 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So how many records did you make so far?
Oh, sorry, buddy.
How many records did they make, Stonesour?
With them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
I made 5 records with them and
holy shit.
2 EPs. Yeah.
It's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
So what's the band's hiatus right now or something? Or?
Yeah, they're on an indefinite hiatus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he dropped that new record last year, which my son loves, Stonesour and Slipknot. Now this is his favorite bands, and turned me on to all that stuff. Like I heard it now because of him. Like I never thought my son could turn me on to something that I never heard. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like find something that's not punk, hardcore, hip hop, whatever he grew up listening to. Like when he first heard Slayer, then he's like, I love this band, Fit for an Autopsy. They're my favorite band. I'm like, and then I checked him out, and then like these other bands, about Death, trying to tell me about these bands. And he saw Slayer. He's like, Slayer's okay, but I like Fit for an Autopsy. It's because I brought him to watch Slayer on the stage. Like if I didn't bring it to him, he wants to find it for himself. So he found his own niche of this crazy Cowboy, that band, something Cowboy.
Job for a Cowboy?
Yeah, like all this shit. Like once more, I'll get you some water.
I'm dry mouth here.
Like the Cowboy one.
Thank you.
All that shit. Like he's like, this is my music. I found it. I'm like, cool. It's awesome. But now now I'm like super open minded to it. Where before, like I probably would never listen to it, but since my son's playing in the car all the time, like especially Slipknot. Then we went and saw him perform. I was like, holy shit! It was only Jimmy Kimmel. It was only 4 songs, but like they're fucking incredible, dude.
You gotta be open minded
100%
with all music, art, everything. Check it out. Move on if you don't like it.
I mean, that's how we were growing up. But then when you get older, you feel like I'm not gonna be like my mom. She's like, what is this? What is a Sex Pistol? What is a Bullock? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be. It wasn't shocking to know my son likes that, but now he's like, some of the lyrics and some of the shit's crazy. Some of like the black metal shit and stuff from Iceland or whatever that shit's from is crazy.
Norway.
Yeah, Norway, all that shit. Like,
I love some of that stuff.
Yeah, but it's cool. But so Stonesour, I was super, super stoked when I heard you in that band, because then once Max told this to him, oh, I know that guy. He's in that band. Like, holy shit. You don't really think about it. Doesn't. Yeah. So that's how. So when the Ministry came after that.
Ministry came after that, like during the downtime.
Okay.
When Slipknot.
That's a good downtime gig to have. Oh
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, there's a time where, but during that downtime, I really didn't have anything going on. I was actually kind of
stressing a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, freaking out. I mean, because we stopped in 2014.
Okay.
15, there was nothing. Actually, in 15, John and Victor, Nausea, we got together and recorded some stuff.
Holy shit.
We were going to do some stuff, and we had to shelf it.
So Nausea was going to come back?
We were trying to.
Wow.
At least do one or two shows.
That would be cool, man. That'd be really cool.
We just couldn't get it together with the other two. They just...
Yeah.
I
think kids would be stoked if that happened, for sure.
Oh, my God. We wanted to do something really cool and exclusive, like do one in L.A., do one in Bay Area,
New York.
Maybe do one in New York. Absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
And that would be it. And put out something new, and that's it.
Like a 7-inch, just something.
DIY 7-inch,
yeah.
Recorded
Playing in the park in New York or some shit.
Recorded, done in my place, done, and still on the shelf.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Still waiting to be heard.
So people listening, this could happen. Nausea could happen one day. You never know.
I don't know about that.
You never know. One day, never say never. Though.
I think everyone is already far away from it already, and that's okay. We all change.
Yeah.
Maybe it's meant to stay back there in 1991. And that's okay too.
That's kind of cool too when people don't do it and just leave it there. If you weren't there, you weren't there. You missed it.
We just became a patch and a T-shirt. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
A back patch.
A back patch.
You guys are OG for the back patches though.
Oh God,
back then.
Yeah, a band breaks up, you turn into a patch. I'm cool with that, man.
But you guys are old school for that too. So Stonesour, then Ministry. Yeah, we played a show with you guys. I forgot what fest it was.
Yeah, Ministry happened as well. That came.
It's fucking insane.
That came actually through my wife.
Okay.
Because she was doing Al's hair.
Oh shit!
Like cutting it, and so
perfect.
I guess she knew, he knew, she knew. I was a drummer. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They needed someone to step in for a tour as well. So then I got the call, and then I came, and then we all
definitely were a big Ministry fan.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And Al's a great guy. We rehearsed at my place.
Wow.
All 6 of us inside my little room.
Holy shit!
All on ISO cabs and headphones. Al was in my control room screaming his head off, listening to us.
Shit.
It was great. I actually recorded it.
That's cool.
Abbas recorded for the first time playing together. It was pretty cool.
That's rad. Is at your house singing?
At my house singing. Well, I have another funny story to add to that too. According to Kazi, my wife, she said Al was out. Al had his head poked outside of my control room, smoking a cigarette and screaming into the mic, so the whole neighborhood could hear him scream, "Thieves!"
Holy shit!
Thieves and liars. I'm like, really? He was screaming outside? Like, oh yeah, he was screaming his head off outside.
Holy
Everyone can hear him.
shit.
My clients were like, what the hell?
Damn. His voice is so powerful. He's an older dude, right? He's got to be like almost 60.
I think he's 62 now. But
He kills it
his
live
voice
still,
his
man.
voice is
Dude.
ridiculous. To hear it in headphones, like right there, it was incredible. Like he hasn't lost it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because I checked out some of the songs we played with you guys at the festival. I'm like, damn, like this is the songs I know from my wife because my wife's a huge fan.
Yeah.
They're from Chicago, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wax tracks.
Yeah, fucking his voice is incredible, man.
I mean, they pretty much wrote the book on industrial mixed with metal.
He doesn't seem like a guy that does warm ups.
No.
Just walks on stage.
Just walks on stage and fucking does.
Just like Dickie Barrett, man. Just walks on stage. Back then he smoked and drank on those tours, but come on stage, just fucking kill it, and then talk normal after.
Al's punk rock. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. He'll walk up on stage and fucking kill it, walk off, done.
It's pretty amazing, man. He's like a machine.
He's a machine.
So Ministry is just obviously with the COVID and lockdown, there's nothing happening. But
No.
when's the last time you played with them?
Well, I did play on their last album. I played 4 or 5 songs on the last album, and I did record some stuff during the COVID break for their new record coming up.
Awesome.
So he's working on it now with the other guys.
So you have a little studio set up in your house?
I have a recording studio in my house.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is in your house like a garage or something?
Actually, yeah, we have a detached garage, so I gutted the garage. There was a grandma apartment connected to it, which I gutted, turned that into the control room, turned the garage into the live room. Everything's wired up.
Soundproof the shit?
Yep.
Damn.
Floating room. It's like one of the first things I did when I moved
You did
to
it
the
yourself?
house. No, I with another friend who's an actual great construction worker. I'm not that good. I have great ideas. I'm not that good at this stuff. So I decided to just hire someone and pay someone that does it better than me.
Yeah, I think that's where I fucked up, is where you just said floating room. Because after I started gutting this garage and realizing that...
Your room's not floated?
No,
but you did the double walls, though.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I'm going to show you. It's definitely soundproof. It works. But after I did, I realized I was supposed to build another room inside my garage.
You can still do it.
And that's how you're supposed to really get the sound, the air in between those two spots.
You can still do it.
Because I got the blankets on the roof, on the walls. It's pretty dead in there.
You could still do it, though. I mean, it's not too late.
Just building a whole frame, right?
You need to build a whole frame, basically, not touching anything. The bottom part of the frame has to be on like rubber kind of feet, raised off the ground.
And then what? And then just build the walls, and then
all the walls. It's basically everything's got to be like this far from the outside frame. So you have like 15-inch walls.
Do I have to insulate the new wall itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Holy shit! And that totally works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I kind of really DIY'd it. Really wasn't sure. We're doing it as we go along. Me and Rusty.
I mean, you can still do it for sure. You just built the first layer. You just need to build a second layer.
So you can't really hear shit outside your house when stuff's playing and stuff?
I mean, you can hear a little bit, like that. That's that.
Yeah.
You can hear a little bit of low end from the kick. That's about it.
Yeah.
It depends where you stand by the building. When you're far away from the building, like in my house, you can't hear nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to see what happens.
But I do cut myself off after 8:30 anyway.
Yeah, that's smart.
You know, and my neighbor's cool with it.
Respect for the neighbors.
Yeah, my neighbor's cool with it anyway. You know, he's like, I can hear your kick drum sometimes, you know, whatever. And
was he complaining or just saying?
No, he didn't complain. And I also have, you know, a PA system in there that has all my synthesizers going through that. So when I'm doing my soundtrack work, I have it really cranked loud because I like to feel the oscillators shake my fucking balls.
Yeah.
You know? So, sorry, folks, I didn't mean to get
That's okay,
graphic like that.
So when did you become a dad?
2011. September 27th.
September 27th, 2011. And you have one kid or two kids?
One.
It's amazing, right?
I love it. It's the best thing in the world.
It's hard to talk to people about how amazing it is if they don't have kids. It's hard to like explain it to them, even if they love your kid or they have nephews and nieces.
Yeah.
It's so different when you become a parent.
It really does change your world.
The perspective on the world itself too. Just everything changes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The importance scale comes out. This isn't. That's important. That's important. This is not.
Yeah,
That's what changes.
Like so fast too,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I became really super emo, like super emotional on every little thing, every like commercial, just anything I saw about a parent.
Same.
It's so crazy, man.
There's certain films I can't watch, but you know, like because I get weirded out, especially with like abusive stuff in films.
Totally.
Like with kids or with any of that shit.
It fucks me up, man.
I don't like it. I could watch it maybe like in my 20s. Like I just accept it as part of the film. I can't watch shit like that.
Even like
now.
violence too, like even stuff on the news. I see kids getting hurt or beat up or bullies. I get so fucking.
I'm not into that. I hate that.
Dude,
shit.
so you have a boy or a girl?
I have a girl.
And how old?
She's 8. She's gonna be 9, and she's on fire.
Yeah, it goes by really fast. I also feel like, not to be morbid, but if I didn't have a kid, I wonder if I feel like life was going by fast right now. But when you have a kid and you see that timeline and their age and your age and how you're getting older and
it's going fast.
It fucks you. If you really want to think about it, I get dark sometimes. Max is like, don't get dark. Just thinking about like I'm 50, or just like one day I'm not going to be on this planet. Me and my wife will be gone. He's just going to be here with his family living. It's just fucking,
I think about that shit every now and then.
It's fucked up, man.
It's just the shit that keeps me up.
I hate the death shit. I want to be here forever. I want to live as long as I can possibly live to be here for this guy. You know what I mean? But you can only raise him right, put him out in the world, and hopefully they're going to do good. I'm serious.
What you looking at?
But you know what I mean, though? It's like we have to do our best and guide them and raise them right.
Absolutely.
And then when they go out into the world, it's like you're on your own, but not really, because I always have your back. I'm always going to be here for you, but go be a man and do your thing. But I'm going to be here in case you fall. You know what I'm saying? Like
them?
I like those. Where'd you get them from?
I'll send you the link.
Okay, Max, he has a real studio in his house where he built like a whole other room inside of a room, which.
Not allowed in ours then.
No, I gotta show it to him.
But like I said, it's not too late. You could still do it. You could still do it.
So how you been on this whole lockdown thing, and what's your take on like the future of music?
Well, like everyone else, you know, just waiting it out and trying to stay positive and try not to get too depressed. Every now and then,
It's hard, man.
I get bummed. You know, you just do.
Yeah, we're normal. We're humans.
What's going on in the news, and you know, being restricted to do certain things, and you know, having to remember to suit up a certain way, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's taxing. And the first few months of it, I mean, Groundhog Day, every day was Sunday. Every day was Sunday. No routine. That just threw everyone off, threw me off.
Yeah.
Now there's a bit of a routine now, which is good.
Yeah.
With Nico, my daughter now doing homeschooling, certain hours there. My wife's, cutting hair. Everyone's all masked up and doing that,
Yeah.
Just doing that.
The homeschooling is a little weird still, like seeing Max on this computer.
It's definitely weird. I mean, but they definitely have it together more now than they did when it first
Beginning
hit.
earlier, yeah, for sure.
I mean, now they're doing more classes on Zoom, and so it just kind of takes the stress off of us because we're not teachers. We don't know how to teach, these subjects and
a lot of it's
thoroughly.
They teach it a little differently too. Math, especially, is a lot different the way they teach. Things.
I actually like the way they teach math now.
Oh, you
I'm
do?
I'm actually relearning math in a different way now through Nico. It's all through dialogue. I love it. It's all explained. Yeah. Why is this problem like this? And it shows you the problem frontwards and backwards. They never showed you that in school before.
That's true.
They're kind of like, here's a multiplication table. Memorize it.
Yeah, it's true.
Give me a reason why it equals that.
Yeah.
Now they do.
Yeah.
Which makes kids 20 million times more advanced than you and I. I mean,
yeah.
The way my kid is at 8 years old, I wasn't thinking and speaking the way she was at 8. Hell no. I mean, kids are so much more advanced, and the next generation is going to be on fire.
I hope it needs to be, man. I hope it is.
I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah. And then as far as music is concerned, I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to do my podcast, exercise, live day to day. Like now, I know this festival is being announced next year, but it's hard to get excited about those because we have no control over that.
Of course not.
So that's what's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, very much so.
Although, yes, they just announced in New Jersey 150 capacities allowed open.
Well, I saw some festivals happening or shows happening in Czech Republic, big shows open outside.
Wow.
I'm not getting on an airplane anytime soon, man.
We can't even go there anyway. We're not allowed to go to a lot of countries anyway right now. We can't really get out.
You can fly within the country.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting on a
plane. You're not in no hurry.
Oh, no, not until there's a freaking vaccine. Then I'll be okay and feel good about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not going to be the one to add fuel to the fire and play a show.
Yeah.
Because they say you can.
We'll be the first one to.
I'm not going to do that. No.
Yeah.
I don't want to be responsible for someone getting sick.
For sure.
Or get sick and bring that shit home.
So it's got to be like a thing where it's completely. The whole world's already playing, not just the first band to do. I would never be the first one to do that and come back and play a show, and it could be. It's just. It's hard.
Yeah.
Do you have like daily rituals you do?
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee. Yeah.
First thing, coffee. Second thing, hang out with my little one and watch Vampirina.
Okay.
Before she hits Zoom.
Okay. Zoom school.
Zoom school. Yeah. Zoom. Come on and Zoom. Anybody remember that?
Zoom was great, man.
Yeah.
So that's you work out, yoga or anything? You look like a yoga guy, but
I don't really do yoga. I mean, I should. I haven't for a long time. My wife does it. I just don't. I don't know. I haven't felt to do it.
Man.
What I do is I go to my drums and I start beating the hell out of my drums for a couple hours a day. Every day.
Very therapeutic for sure, man.
And I keep
man,
keep
great.
in shape.
Yeah.
Thank you. I keep in shape that way, and just try to eat right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets in your life?
Regrets. I had a few.
I was gonna say that.
No.
That's awesome.
I actually don't.
It's awesome.
No.
The last 4 people I had on said no, and they said why they didn't. Yeah, like some people say yes, some people like no, I don't. Everything I've been through made me who I am today.
That's exactly why I say I don't have any regrets, because even the bad things I've been through, it's taught me something, and I've walked away from that situation with something and learned from it. Mm-hmm. And it makes you who you are today. So no regrets.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I pretty much know the answer to this question. Are you optimist or pessimist?
I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I could already know that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've always been like that, right?
Always.
Yeah.
The only thing that's different about me is I have grayer hair and have more experience in life. That's it. Yeah. I'm pretty much the same guy you met 30 years ago.
Totally, you are.
Yeah.
I feel like that's helped you through your journey too, with all the musical things you've been doing. Everything you've been through.
So it kept me focused.
Yeah.
It's kept me out of trouble.
And you're like a good person, and people want to work with you and fuck with you and do stuff with you. You know what I mean? There's people that get arrogant and cocky about their skill set, and the people don't really want to deal with them.
Those are people I don't.
You're humble.
Get
you know
involved.
what I mean?
Thank you. Well,
and so that's why people want to work with you. That's why I continue to work with different people. And now, Like you went from Nausea to fucking Stonesour. It's just crazy, man. It's a crazy journey.
It's pretty crazy.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's a thing. It's like there's a path in front of me. You neither choose to walk it or don't.
yeah.
Don't question it. Just walk the fucker
Mm-hmm.
and see where you go.
Yeah.
You know, don't think too hard about it. Don't get too neurotic about it. Just go forward.
You've been focused since you were a kid, though, about playing drums and doing that professionally, though.
Absolutely. Now it's over 44 years I've been playing drums.
It's fucking crazy,
It's
man.
fucking crazy to think about that.
And your parents, did they see a bunch of your bands? They've been to a bunch of your shows, different groups?
Yeah. They've been to my mom has been to every different band
It's fucking
show
awesome.
that I've been involved
Super
with.
proud, man.
Except for Shelter. She didn't see Shelter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't think she saw that.
I saw that.
You
I
saw that?
Yeah.
Trocadero.
Oh my God. Trocadero, yeah.
Trocadero in Philly?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Was that the same tour?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there was
Yeah,
that tour.
same tour, dude.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Same tour. And a bunch of my friends from Allentown, Lehigh Valley area came up to that show too.
Awesome.
Which I thought was great. It was so cool.
So your parents super supportive.
Yeah.
Did your pops come around eventually about music?
My mom, yeah, my dad definitely did. He passed away a few years ago, but before that, he'd show up to shows, and when I come through Florida, because he still lived in Florida this whole time.
Okay.
He got remarried, you know. So him and his wife would come to wherever Soulfly would play or
Yeah.
Stonesour. Those are the two bands he saw me in.
And what did your brother end up doing? What's your brother do?
My brother, he works for Fox Television News,
Oh,
but he's music supervisor.
Okay.
Yeah, he's.
Did he get some of your music on there at all?
What's that?
Did he get some of your music on there?
No, he puts. No, he does.
Stick some
no,
Stonesour in there and
He
shit.
does a lot of the sound effects and music
Okay.
stuff for the news and stuff like that.
It's cool.
Yeah, he's been doing that for I don't know, like 15.
Is he
16
up?
years.
He's out here or back east?
He's back east. Yeah.
Would you have any? What would be your top 5 inspirations? It could be music, artist, whatever, any genre.
Wow, that's hard.
I know. Some people do it by genre. They do like hip hop. They do punk rock.
Are you talking musically?
What doesn't have to be whatever. Like
Ex-
major impact on your life.
okay. Kiss,
I thought so.
the Beatles,
Ooh.
which actually I've rediscovered in the last month. I bought all their records.
Really?
I bought all the reissues, and
That's
they
awesome.
are fucking fantastic still. Like
Amazing songwriters.
everything. They don't have one bad song. Even their giddyish kind of songs. I love them. I love everything by them.
I might dive back
Dude,
into them actually.
I
Man.
started actually in the middle of their catalog and went this way and that way.
Okay.
I bought Rubber Soul, and then went and bought Revolver, and then Beatles for Sale, and Hard Day's
Okay.
Night, and then I bought Abbey Road and Let It Be, and then I bought the first 2 albums, Please Please Me and with the Beatles, and then now I just recently got Yellow Submarine and
Holy
Sgt.
shit.
Pepper, and I completed the whole set.
Okay.
Bought the anthology #1 that has.
Still buying music. I appreciate that.
I
That's
buy
amazing.
vinyl
Hell
still.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm all vinyl. I don't do CDs. I love the sound of vinyl. CDs, my only problem with CDs now that I'm back on vinyl, my ears are so used to dynamics and not hardline, limited, compressed digital signal on a CD. You know, I want the peaks and valleys.
I love that.
I want to hear the snare drum cut with the guitar a certain way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's awesome.
so.
So Beatles and Kiss.
All right, now I'm getting to 70s now.
Let's get it.
Led Zeppelin, Rush.
Led Zeppelin and Rush.
Led Zeppelin and Rush at the same time.
Rush is fucking sick.
Yeah.
I really appreciate Rush. I listened to him a lot, Rusty, growing up. And when I hear Rush, my son listens to him now.
Love
I'm
them.
like, dude, they're so good, man.
I love them.
So that's 5, right? No.
The Police.
Fuck yeah. You have no punk in there.
Not yet.
Okay, we're over 5. Fuck, keep going. I'll keep going.
No, because I'm just going chronologically
I
now.
love that.
I'm going like by decade,
Okay.
like my 70s era
Respect.
life, you know.
Yeah,
Those are the things that made an impact on me. And of course, like the first things of music I ever listened to is whatever my mom and my dad were listening
Yeah.
to. My mom used to love like Neil Diamond,
Jim Croce, your mama like that.
Burt Bacharach, Jim Croce,
Yes.
all like Motown music, a lot of soul music. We used to have, you know, Superfly, Curtis Mayfield
Sick.
in the house. You know, that I grew up listening to that. That's where I
cool.
get the groove. You know, learn my groove.
What a
from
great
that.
musical fucking
James
background.
Brown. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. What else?
That's great. That's a great collective of music right
That's
there.
the beginning of. That's the first bit of music that got me started
Mhm.
before everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's my roots.
Either like hip hop growing up.
Oh yeah, in
Let's
the
get into.
80s.
I'm gonna get into it. Yeah, what hip hop you like?
My hip hop, Grandmaster Flash.
Okay, yeah,
Furious
old school
5.
shit.
I mean, right off the bat, that was the first thing that turned my ear. The first time I ever heard Genius of Love or The Message. When I heard The Message for the first time, man, it totally spoke to me, like how punk did. To me, I looked at hip hop and punk almost the same thing,
totally,
but different. They're both in the street.
Yep.
They're both telling stories. They're both raw.
I agree, man.
Raw energy, and there's no bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like what punk was with reggae music in London. It's almost they were at the same time. They kind of inspired each other.
Yeah.
Hip hop definitely had a big inspiration on a lot of New York hardcore at some point.
And on the Clash too.
And on the Clash.
Yeah. When they first
I'm just
came to New York.
looking at. I'm just saying like there's definitely a similarity there.
100%. Public Enemy is like a fucking punk band to me.
Big time.
You know what I mean? Like lyrically and everything he was singing about was so ahead of the time.
Yeah, big time. I remember seeing them for the first time, and it was It was like with Murphy's Law and Beastie Boys.
Wow, you saw that one? Holy
fuck
shit!
yeah.
That's a historic tour.
I was scared to death when I saw PE. I was like, "What is this?
Damn.
Never seen anything like." Not scared, like scared, like excited, scared,
Yeah.
like holy shit.
That's a sick one
It
to
was
see,
the
man.
best fucking concert I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
they blew everybody away.
I'm sure they did.
Well, Murphy's Law was great.
Yeah.
Jimmy's like, "What the fuck?"
No, that was a great fucking tour.
No,
for them.
actually, that whole tour was great. Beasties were great. Fucking Murphy's Law was great. I think Back with the Bong was out at the time. Yeah.
Did you get into like later shit like Wu-Tang and stuff like that?
Kind of. By then, I was working so much at that time. I didn't really have time to really sit down and listen to stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to a lot of music because I was mixing a lot of music.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to do is sit down and listen to a record.
You like Run DMC and shit like that?
Oh, my
That
God,
was your
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Run DMC. Let's see, UTFO.
Houdini,
yes. What's the other one? God.
Big Daddy Kane, maybe? That was later.
That was a little later.
Kumo D.
Curtis Blow. It's Curtis Blow, hell yeah.
Yeah.
AJ Scratch.
Yeah, Curtis.
Schoolie D.
Fat Boys?
Yes. Love the Fat
So
Boys.
good,
Most
man.
underrated hip-hop group
Yeah,
ever.
it's pretty true,
I don't know
actually.
why.
Yeah.
That first album's fucking great.
Yeah.
Somebody posted something recently on their Instagram story, one of the tracks off that. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot how great this was. And I can't remember the name of the track, what track it was. I think it was Stick 'em.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Stick 'em. Ha, 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 stick 'em.
Stick 'em.
Fuck yeah.
So good. Yeah.
That's the coolest, the human beatbox thing.
Fat Boys are back. And you know they'll never be whack. Fat Boys are back. It was so good.
I love that shit.
It was like a thing in the back.
Mm-hmm.
That was some great shit, man. Being in New York during that time, all that shit's fucking.
I would have loved to have been in New York a little earlier.
Yeah, me
to see
too. I
some
there in
of that.
88.
80. I think 86 is probably the first
How
time.
about KRS-One?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I got to know him a little later. He used to come.
Really?
He used to come to Wetlands and hang out every now and then.
Oh, wow.
On the Monday night Soul Kitchen nights. Remember those nights?
He was chill? He was nice?
Yeah, the best. He used to hang out with all of us at the bar.
That's cool, man.
Frankie Jackson's Soul Kitchen.
That's right. There was so much hip-hop at Wetlands, man.
Yeah, a lot.
Like big groups that came there early before.
What
they
was
blew
cool
up.
about the Monday nights, though, I used to, this was before I started really doing sound at Wetlands. I was bar backing and bussing and shit. We used to have to clear out some of the coolers and fill everything up with Colt 45 40 ounces.
Oh, shit.
And we used to sell Philly's blunts for you know what.
Blunts.
That was Monday night Soul Kitchen night.
Okay, Philly's
So
blunts. Man.
Anybody who was anybody was there.
That's fucking awesome,
You
man.
name it, he was there. KRS, he was there.
For a Monday night, too, that's crazy.
Yeah.
When New York's always something
He's
going
played
on.
there a couple times too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of underground. I remember hip-hop, like Cypress playing there. I remember
Yep.
De La, Tribe Called Quest. A lot of
Oh my God, De La Soul, of course. Duh.
one of the great Tribe Called Quest.
Trap Called Quest, yeah.
One of the greatest, man. So, yeah, so you're
There's one other. Never mind.
back then?
I'm just
De La
blanking.
Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, LL.
Soul to Soul, but they're not hip hop. It's Soul
I like
to Soul.
Soul to Soul.
I
though.
love
Keep
Soul
on
to Soul.
moving. Yeah, they're great songs, man.
That reminds
Back
me.
to life.
Soul to Soul reminds me when I just got to New York and squatting and working, rebuilding, like doing construction and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what Soul to Soul reminds me of.
Back
and-
to life.
Yeah, totally.
Back to
That song
reality.
especially. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, see these songs that bring you back to certain
Every
times
time
in
I
your
hear
life, it's
that one, I
crazy.
remember that. I can remember walking up Avenue B, like around the corner to the bodega to get a drink and to go back and continue demolition. Yeah.
I love that your whole life you stayed working, pretty much working class, like always working,
Always.
in between tours, all that shit. Like not getting too comfortable, just like still grinding and
You have to.
taught yourself a lot too.
Yeah.
You taught yourself the drums pretty much.
Yeah.
Self-taught everything.
Pretty much.
It's pretty amazing. And yeah, it's fucking. And you happy with your journey where you're at now? You're 50 years old, live in Los Angeles. Have family. It's pretty amazing.
I feel good about that.
Been your own boss your whole life, pretty much.
Pretty much, almost. Well, in the last.
Well, controlled your path.
Controlled
yeah,
to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate about that.
Do you miss New York or the East Coast?
I miss the New York I used to know.
Me too. I miss New York.
I miss my old friends that I hung out with there
Yeah.
in New York. A lot of them are gone, unfortunately. But the ones that are still there, and it's great when I go home and I see them.
Yeah,
You know?
it's so different when you go back there, right?
It is, and especially going through. You love that. especially going to my old neighborhood, like 151 Norfolk Street. I lived right around the corner from New York City, a New York City tattoo.
Oh, that's
New York
right.
Tattoo. I lived there for all through the rest of the 90s till I moved.
Holy shit!
And watched that place change. And now when I've been back a couple of years, it's really changed. It's like not even the place I lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these stores and clubs and places that I used to go to, restaurants are gone. It's like almost like I never existed, or my life never existed.
Yeah.
You know, it's bizarre to see high rises and these bourgeois fucking boutique cafes and restaurants in areas where I used to see people copying dope. It's crazy.
And Avenue
man.
C, or A, B, C, and D are all kind of. D's still a little grimy still.
D still.
No disrespect, if you live in Avenue D listening. I'm sorry, but D's still not.
Okay.
It's not like Starbucks and shit.
It's still a place I know. Okay, good. But the one thing.
Well, it's called Dead, right? What was break it down? A, B, C. What do you mean? A, you're somewhere. B, you're somewhere. C, and D, you're dead.
D, you're dead.
I just know the other alphabet parts. But
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'm actually kind of hearing that.
Remember that?
But
what is it?
It was A is like you're feeling like antsy or something.
Okay. B is what?
It's like you're bold.
And C,
You're crazy.
you're crazy. Okay.
Where's that place, Anchor Inn in Brooklyn? That's Bed-Stuy or Bushwick or one of those places?
Brooklyn's so different, dude.
Okay, well, Jimmy Gestapo took me to this place when I hung out with him in Nobby. He took me to this area. I think it's Bushwick or Brunswick. What are the two? So I'm there. I'm walking around. I'm like, this looks like how Lower East Side used to be 30 years ago. It's the same vibe. You have neighborhood kids that have been there for years, and you have pockets of like artists and musicians here and there. And I love the vibe. I love that vibe. That's not there in East Village, Lower East Side anymore.
No.
It's kind of sad.
And Queens kind of stayed the same.
Queens is definitely the same. There's nothing new there.
Yeah, Brooklyn got totally changed. The difference. Yeah, but
well,
now
I think in matter of time it'll hit Queens.
Yeah.
Because everything seems to be going out east.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
We lived during such a perfect time, man, for hip hop, punk rock, everything.
Well,
man.
I think we caught the tail end of the good shit there.
Yeah, man.
Do you remember when Brooklyn felt like a million miles away to you when you lived in Manhattan?
Yeah, man. Totally, man.
It did to me.
Yeah.
And
Queens too. You take 2 trains to Queens. You get out there, 7 train, all that, N train. Yeah.
I remember those times like going to some parties in Brooklyn, coming from Manhattan, like late at night after work, and cab will stop. Where are you going? Brooklyn. I'm not going that way. I'm like, why'd you stop?
Just leave you out there, right?
Yeah. In the cold.
But now everybody's going to Brooklyn. It's so different, man.
I don't miss the change over time trying to get a cab to work. That sucked. Between 3:30 and 4:30
in the morning. Yeah.
No, at night, during the afternoon.
Oh, that's okay.
You're
Yeah.
like you're
Oh,
there
it changes. Yeah,
you're
yeah,
there
yeah.
forever trying to get a cab, and everybody's off duty. I don't remember.
That does suck. I had it in the rain. That's happened many times. That
every
sucks.
time. Yeah, or getting splashed with the puddle of like slush water, freezing cold. Like should have had those galoshes on, man. Damn.
I do think it might have been different maybe raising my kid on the East Coast, because when I take Max out there when he's young to see John Joseph, I always like give him like the tough kind of love thing that he doesn't really have in California. It's a different vibe here. Like maybe growing up on the East Coast was awesome for us, but maybe raising our kids, maybe it turned out to be different. Who knows? But you know, I mean, our hair's a little more passive aggressive. Literally, it's like straightforward in your face. Just tell you like it is, shit like that. You know.
I like when I run into people out here like that.
Yeah.
I don't run into too many people out here like that.
But there is a lot of us out here. There's a lot of transplants. There's a lot of us East Coasters out here.
Yeah, I've run into that. I've noticed a lot of people from New York live here now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nicer weather.
Yeah.
You get more bang for your buck out here. It's too expensive in New York.
You really did. And I never saw beyond the buildings. I was like, fuck the West Coast. I go by there as a roadie with Sick Roll. I didn't really stay there for that many days. But then you like, once you get out, you're like, fuck, man.
I think what really
Best kept
sealed
secret.
I think what really sealed the deal for me, really wanting to come out here, is when we were all out here in '96.
Yeah.
And we played that club over here on Vine.
Not the Palace.
It was called the Palace.
It was the Palace,
then, back then. Now it's called something else, but it was called the Palace then. That was where I was like, I like it here.
Yeah, I'm going to be here one day.
Yeah, and some.
And then you made it out here, yeah. Were you nervous coming out here?
A little bit. Yeah, because
Me too.
It's new and different. I wasn't sure where my place was.
Did you come from a squat to L.A.?
No. I
came from where? No, where were you living at? Where'd you move here from?
I haven't squatted since 1990, 91, 90.
I'm trying to give you some more.
No, I actually
came from where?
Moved into an apartment with my girlfriend at the time on 151 Norfolk Street.
Careful. I came from 4th Street
in 91.
2nd Avenue, yeah.
And then
small ass apartment.
Yeah, our apartment was actually okay. It's pretty good for what it was.
Yeah.
We lived on the 6th floor with an elevator that sometimes worked, sometimes didn't, which I got trapped in a couple times.
Fuck that. It's my fear. I hate that shit.
Oh, it's the worst. It happened on New Year's Eve. I'll never forget it. Me and my brother trapped in with a whole other family. We're like, yeah.
For the whole night?
Well, for like long enough to freak out.
To miss New Year's too?
No. Right. On our way to a New Year's party.
Oh my
god! But it was like 9 o'clock at night. We were in there for like 20 minutes.
Feels like forever though.
Like God.
Fuck that, man.
Someone finally just pried the door open when we got out. It sucked.
It feels like forever though when that happens for sure.
Yes. Where was I going with this story? Oh yeah. Played here. That's where I was like, okay, I want to be back here. I want to move to California.
And then finally, what do you see about the future of music, like playing shows? Like when do you see it? Do you see it being changed forever?
Can't answer that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it'll definitely be changed forever. I mean, it might be. Will it go back to how it was? Maybe, but not for a long time.
Yeah.
Not for a long time. You know?
I know, man.
I mean, who knows, man? You just kind of.
Everything can change tomorrow. That's the thing. Everything's changing so fast.
I don't think something like that's gonna change too quickly. I mean, even with travel and all that, people are always gonna have the fear in the back of their heads they could get this. Even they have vaccines and
still be wearing masks on planes for sure.
Even there's vaccines. COVID's still out there.
Yeah,
and it can still get you.
Totally.
There's people getting reinfected.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
I feel like it's going to be here like the flu. Like it's going to be COVID season, flu season. It's going to be a vaccine. There's vaccines of both. It's always going to be here. So it's going to mean, you know.
But is there going to be big festival shows like Download and stuff like that where everyone's going to be, shoulder to shoulder? I don't think so. I think that's going to go away for a very long time. Until people, have enough courage to do it.
I appreciate you coming out because you've been on the lockdown with your fam and
yeah.
It's the first time really hanging out. You've been out there, right?
I've been out, but not like this. I mean, we've had, a couple people do social distance, gatherings outside.
Yeah.
With a parent and their kid from school and stuff like that, but nothing.
Were you scared you had it at all?
What's that?
Did you think you had it at all during this time?
Sometimes because like I have fucking bad allergies, man.
Okay.
And where we live, there's a lot of dust there, so I get that feeling like I'm coming down with something, but it's just the allergies and the sinuses.
Mm-hmm.
And man,
you panic though at all?
Of course I do.
Yeah, me too. I'm a hypochondriac. I stress out.
And I'm like dosing myself with zinc and all kinds of shit. Freaking. Like that cartoon with Tom and Jerry, where Tom, like every time like someone like sneezed at him, Tom would go running. Fucking
yeah.
No, I've been.
You're more chill now, though.
Yeah, dude, I've washed my hands. I'm always washing my hands. When
it first kicked off, I was freaking out.
Oh, dude, every time I would come back from the supermarket, I'd throw my shit in the
washing machine,
sink, washing machine.
Yeah.
And after I sit in the sink, if I can wash it all down, wipe it down.
Yeah, we spray down the bags, everything, dude. Rubber gloves, everything.
All of that. Yeah.
All the clothes right off, right into the washing machine. Everything on the front porch, take the bags out, spray it all down, bring it to the house, open up all the boxes. We were going crazy. My son had a gas mask on and shit. We're fucking wilding out over here, man.
Man. We did all that, man. We did all that. Yeah, same. Everyone.
We're gonna get through it though. I think it's gonna be next couple months are crucial.
I think so too. And as far as like back to normalcy, it'll be a while. A good year.
Yeah.
A couple years.
Yeah. It's crazy. Something finally affected all of us who just do music Like things have happened throughout life, but
The
now
whole
it affects
every
everybody.
industry,
every single industry.
every,
It's not
every
just
single
us.
industry,
I
every
know.
industry. Yeah,
Yeah, I never thought that would happen. We couldn't play a concert, play a show or whatever,
yeah. It's very strange.
and have no control over what we do.
This is the first time you've been off the road
long
for a long
time.
time.
Yeah,
Me
man.
too.
First summer home, like 20 years, man.
I haven't
yeah.
I haven't been home this summer for a long time either.
It's awesome to be home with your family, get that quality time, and then really realize how what you have is awesome.
And it's really special for me with my daughter who's 8. Like these ages are important.
So crucial.
Very
so
crucial.
Yeah.
This is the turning point.
Yeah.
When she becomes who she becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful to,
She's
to have this
come on
time.
tour with you before?
She doesn't like it.
Huh.
She'll come and visit every now and then. But the thing is, the way it's set up with us, it's just no real room
Yeah.
for her. It's just not a really good environment for her to be on.
Yeah.
So she's like, 10 of us on a bus, and it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not a right situation.
Maybe when
for
she gets
her.
older, because my son goes when he was older.
Yeah,
we started coming
that's a
more.
little different. And
Yeah.
my wife doesn't really like coming out either. She doesn't want to be around everyone and get in people's way. And
I respect that.
Yeah. And I'm like,
That's cool.
it's not a big deal, hon. She's like, oh no, I don't. He's like, I don't really want to be on a bus full of boys anyway.
Yeah.
That's for you guys.
Yes, some wives are like that. I respect some. Like my wife was selling merch with us from the jump, coming on tour, but she was like one of the dudes, and
Moon's awesome.
Yeah.
Where's Moon?
she's at work. But yeah, man. Well, fuck. Thank you for your time. We talked 2 hours. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I'm proud of you, everything you've been through in your life, and I'm glad we're still friends. And it's amazing we're all here together in
I know.
California. And
It's amazing.
from Nausea, fucking to out here. It's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Like such a great journey.
Yeah.
And you do what you love, man. I
Yeah.
think it's really, really important and special. I think it's what makes us feel young and stay young. Is
Yeah.
we get to do shit that makes us happy.
Agreed.
Like we're very fucking lucky, I think.
Yeah.
And
Very lucky.
regardless of what's happening in the planet, we're gonna play music one day for sure. I just don't know when, but I'm not trying to dwell upon it.
I try not
Be
to.
more
man.
creative now.
Yeah.
Is there something you did during the COVID?
Utilize this time. Yeah.
What did you something you learned how to do?
Well, I learned how to restore and rehaul Captain Kirk masks into Michael Myers masks.
I saw you do that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Something I've
that's right.
always
You
wanted to
did it on
learn.
Instagram, yeah.
Something I always wanted to learn how to do. I've
Holy shit.
already made several already for different people. So what inspired that? I mean, obviously,
You're a big horror movie person?
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
You should see my house.
Okay.
It's a freaking museum. So one day, I was online. I went down this rabbit hole of Halloween, and I saw this video. Sorry, I keep going with this interview.
Give a
but,
shit. I love it.
okay, cool. You'll edit it later.
People love it. Who cares?
So Tommy Lee Wallace is production props master guy for John Carpenter for that film.
Okay.
His best friend too. So he was sent out to get a bunch of masks. They need something for the killer. They haven't even filmed the movie yet. They just need
This is some shit.
they need Michael Myers. So they bought an Emmett Kelly mask. They bought all Don Post masks.
Okay.
Don Post was like a big mask maker in the 70s, 60s.
Gotcha.
He made a lot of the cool like devil masks and all those weird
Okay.
shit, witches. So he bought an Emmett Kelly mask, which is a clown, old Emmett Kelly. Got a Captain Kirk mask, and I think he also got a Leonard Nimoy Spock mask. So he looked at all these masks. And he was like, okay, you need to alter these somehow, make it look scary. So he went right for the Captain Kirk mask, and he opened up the holes, took the hair out, took out the sideburns.
Okay.
So he had like this kind of mohawky kind of look, messed up hair.
Yeah.
Opened up the eye holes, like I said, and took appliance white, epoxy white paint, and spray painted the thing.
Holy shit.
And spray painted the hair like brown black
Yeah.
to mess it up. And there's the mask.
Holy shit.
So when I heard this, it's that
Fucking
simple,
awesome.
that easy to make. What did I do? I went on eBay and I
Exact same
bought
thing.
a bunch of reissue Captain Kirk Don Post masks, and I did the same thing.
Holy shit.
And after that, it just started this whole road of wanting to make masks. And I started buying other masks. I started making different versions of Michael Myers masks. Made a
man.
Halloween 1, a Halloween 2 one, a 1978 one. And now I just bought a Kurt Barlow Vampire Salem's Lot latex blank mask, which I'm going to paint. I just bought a whole airbrush system with mask paint, a latex
shit.
acrylic mask paint. So I'm going to go for it.
That's fucking
So I'm gonna,
awesome,
I
man.
just started getting into mask making, and that's what I'm going to do on
Yeah,
the
see all the
side.
stuff you were doing. That's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
But I'm not going to use next time. I'm not going to use spray cans and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use real mask paint.
You know what's interesting? You remind me a lot as I'm talking to my brother Tracy, my older brother.
Oh,
He's in the movie business for like 20 years, Panavision, other things. He's done a bunch of horror movies.
really?
He's into that. Everything he's talked about. He has one of those masks too from the original movie or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna connect you sometime because
I'd love to meet him.
He's into all the shit you're into. He put a movie out.
What's his name?
Tracy Morse. And so he's done a bunch of like his favorite shit is horror movies. Tracy, don't get mad at me if I say it wrong. But Tracy did this movie. I forgot what it's called, and it was his first horror movie.
What is it?
And it tanked so bad in the movie attendance across the country that it became a cult classic because it did so bad in the movie theaters. I have to find the name of this fucking movie.
It's probably my
that
favorite
my brother
movie.
Tracy did. You've probably seen it. But you remind me of a lot. Just everything you talk. It's weird. Just now we said the whole story. I was like, you remind me of Tracy. I need to connect you.
I'd
you're
love to
into
meet
the
him.
same shit.
I'd love to meet him.
He has all that shit. He has all the horror shit.
I'm surprised I've never met you.
He's been out way before me since early 90s.
Right.
But he's always in the movie business his whole life. Man.
Right.
And music too. He does other different bands. And he's a crazy artist. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so yeah, he'd be stoked on that.
That's great.
Fuck. I learned a lot about you. I didn't even know you in Pennsylvania. Like all the stuff we talked about Allentown. I only know that from going to the airport music hall and all that shit back. The crazy riots there with back in
I was there for that
like,
exploited show where the mace happened.
Oh, there was a lot after
well,
that, too.
my band, Word Made Flesh, opened up that show.
Okay.
And we all got maced.
Yeah, there was a lot after that too with other bands going through.
I heard about
But
that.
I thought you was only from New York. It's your whole journey is fucking amazing, man. So
Thanks, man.
thanks for being here. I appreciate your time, and I'm glad we're all connected here in California. We're gonna hang out more once this COVID shit's you know.
Definitely.
And I'm stoked for you with all the shit you've been doing and all the bands you've been in, and it makes me happy that my son loves your band. He's like, once I realized you were in that band, I was like, oh, I know that guy. That's my friend. He's like, what? You know the drummer? Like they're gonna freak out that you're here right now, but he found Stonesour on his own, not through me. And
That's
all
pretty
these-
rad.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a very small world, especially in the music biz, man.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome, bro. Thanks for being here, Roy. And what's your Instagram? People can follow you on.
Roy Mayorga Official.
Sick. Thanks for being here, Derek, my co-host.
It's the Instagram with the eyeball. You can't miss it.
It's my co-host, Derek Green. It doesn't need a microphone.
Represent.
He's got the most powerful voice in the business.
Yeah, he does.
I try my best.
You don't even need a microphone.
Dude, we just played at NAMM like 6 months ago. Dude, your voice, man, just almost blew me off the freaking drum kit because it came through the monitors. He's like, I was like, Jesus, he's powerful.
Oh, I gotta tell one thing.
What's the take on Derek's COVID mustache?
I'm backing it, man.
Yeah. A lot of people are loving the Hightower Danny Glover look. But,
Totally.
But when Roy came down to audition, it wasn't really audition. He just came down to jam
play.
before we went on tour. He was headbanging so hard he was bleeding from hitting his head on the snare.
No, actually, it was the tom in front of me.
It was just like whack.
My forehead caught the rim.
I was like, holy shit, this kid is punk rock.
I'm like, I went, ow. And then I looked down. I'm like, oh.
Headbanging blood was coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Max, you guys can start. Go. Yeah, we're done. So Max's band's gonna play. We're gonna come out and say hi to you guys real quick. All right, Roy. Thank you, Derek. Thank you.
Boo.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 some other day when I think of more things to talk about. We covered a lot of shit though, man.
Yeah,
Learned a lot about you today, man.
Actually, yeah, you covered pretty much
Your whole
everything.
life.
I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone about how I don't think I've ever told anyone about any of this stuff.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate your
thanks
time, man.
Thanks for
We're gonna do a photo, right? Let me shut this shit off though. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you.
Your name's not Ray, it's Roy. I know that shit.
ROY.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye. Let's do a picture with the headphones.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you, bro.
That was awesome, brother.
Killed it.
Fuck yeah, man.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to hear the next one.